What is up? What is up? What up? Watch party time. Oh, Ignite watch party. Let's see how many games we watch today. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Jenna? Over on YouTube. What's up? What's up? What is up? What's up? Push up, everybody. Let's see if this works. Nice. Good, good, good. Who do you think will win? Schmungus? I don't know. This one, I have to remember who's on L9. I have to remember who's on L9. VP probably wins. Hey, VP wins this. This is a question mark. This is a question mark. This is like 50-50, I would say. Yeah. I'll just see what comps they played, and I can probably determine better. Yo, what's up? Yeah, if you want the Magik drops, head over to Twitch. My Twitch drops as well. If you want the Magik drops. Or stay on YouTube, up to you. Appreciate you guys stopping by regardless. Appreciate. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, like, the outcome of this match.
Hello and welcome to Marvel Rivals Ignite for EMEA.
Ryan.
It's supernova here in the UK, let's be honest, but we've still got a lot of games going on that are heating up as we look towards the playoffs for EMEA, the mid-season's finals potential.
I'm watching on YouTube, so I can pause.
We've already had some pretty crazy upset results in EMEA, which has been standard so far, I'd say, with one team being on top, which isn't anymore, maybe.
Yes, Virtus Pro have finally been dethroned.
That's right, Virtus Pro lost.
From the Invitational. Maybe the championship.
They got 2-0'd, bruh. That was actually insane.
Virtus Pro underneath the name of Team Cats were still the top dog in the EMEA region, but no more. They were dethroned by
Maybe I watch on Twitch.
formerly Luminosity Gaming, which has been a very long time coming. Those two teams have been circling each other for months.
Oh, do they run ads?
Yeah, so there might be a lot of new faces here for various reasons to watch in Ignite this week. We'll touch on those potentially in a little bit. But we'll look at the group stages. We have 16 teams in this tournament that have already been whittled down to 12. We have Group A. All of these are from various qualifiers. There was a couple that came from the Clash system, and invited teams that came from the Marvel Rivals Invitational back in March, and also
There's always going to be a delay. Yeah, I don't know.
Season 1. So far, I think that the results in this group.
We just watch on YouTube. It's fine. Fine. See how it goes. Yeah, there's a little bit of delay on YouTube's end for streaming. Don't know why, but see. Don't forget to like the stream if you're watching on YouTube. Appreciate that. If not, no worries.
We saw them in the tournament of Marvel Rivals Championship, came third. So Zero Tenacity being able to dethrone them was pretty important. As we can have a look and see Group B. And
this was a
biggest upset. It's fair to say not just
this was a big one.
Region. I'm talking every single region. Yeah, I'm even counting the
This was a big match. It was actually insane. They got 2-0'd. Because VP in theory is like quite literally the best team in the world currently. And the fact that they lost 2-0 to Rad was actually like insane, by the way.
Bottom part of this graphic with Peps and Alcazia, Versus Pro and Yonkanda. This is also the section where the teams that win
Quite literally insane.
Playoffs, which will happen next week. But it's also the teams that make top 8 in the region would naturally get a bye to stage 2. Anybody that loses today has to go through the qualifiers again. Granted, it's a little bit further along the process than those that are currently playing in the championship.
Did they do quals again? That's annoying.
Not a situation that you'd expect to see the likes of Virtus Pro in, but there is potential, as we'll touch on as we're going to see them a little bit later, right?
Yeah, and I mean, those qualifiers are pretty daunting. A lot of these teams who came through from Wave 2 were denied their placement in Wave 1 because they pulled one of the strong teams who was also touted to.
How's everybody doing today?
So you
doing how we do?
Yeah,
if you want to watch, if you want Magik drops over on Twitch, there's drops.
Amazing matches ahead of us, some close matches, and also, Ryan, potentially a little bit of a change up from what we saw last week, because now that the dust has settled and these teams have been able to see how composition
we shall see
each other, what exactly is the strongest, I'm sure we're going to be seeing something a little bit different in a very special part of these matches. I'm talking, of course, about the
Ryan is the GOAT. True.
Just to be able to break it down for you, we've got a very special graphic to be able to walk you through all of this stuff, because
okay, so this is the new pick ban system.
In tournament play, we have saves.
So whoever essentially, by the way, goes first in the pick ban system will always be like ahead. Like the pick bans, it's I don't know. It's such a bad system, honestly. Whoever has the first pick ban or the first ban basically dictates how the match is going to be played for the other team, like instantly. It's not even, because in like hero shooters, typically you want the ability to mirror, but because of this pick ban system, it completely removes that factor, which is like absurd. Which I am not a fan of, but
drafting system, cascading style, which we've seen in like other games, notably the likes of MOBAs and stuff like that. But here it's like the main difference between those that even sort of play in higher ranks where there are sort of ban systems, or even in the likes of the Clash system or in the Championship where it's still the normal one, that your bans
which
are not
I don't know.
you,
I think the old system is better.
Basically, a character can always appear twice in a ban. I say if it's my team versus your team versus Moxie, I might ban Magneto, but I can also pick him. You can't then pick or ban Magneto, right? Because the whole system basically stops you. But it's worth going over because a lot of people are asking about it, and naturally it's a new system. It's probably the thing that has changed up the meta.
It's an unfair system, I would say. In my opinion, but
maybe one of the reasons why Virtus Pro fell by the wayside this tournament.
Yeah,
I
that
also
was
feel like you need
definitely
more
a very
heroes
big
to be able to
difference
pull it
in
off.
terms of Virtus Pro versus Red on that last map of Hall of Djali, but we can have a look and see the overall bans that have been coming on through because there is a common occurrence.
Yeah.
do not like Magneto in the mix at all. In fact, he has been banned out 22 times total. No surprises that Loki and Luna have also not been able to make it through the advanced
Yeah,
pick
these
and
are
ban
like
system. For
common
either side, we've seen a
in this
couple of times
system
that
is
Luna has
the
been able to
Luna
sneak
Loki
through the
Mag.
cracks, which
Like
was
that's like every single
unfortunately
match
one of
because
the
those
experiences
characters are so
that
strong.
Persona had
Basically,
going
when you
up
ban these, you
against
play on
Cage's
life support, so
Psylocke
you're looking at like
Luna
triple
team up,
heal.
and that's something we
You're
might
looking
see
at
a
other
bit later.
factors.
But the fact that Magneto is getting
Banning
banned out
Mag
a lot of the time means that
basically
we're seeing
means
a
like you're
whole
forced to
lot
play
of
Doctor
Emma, as
Strange,
teams
but
are
if
a
you don't
little
play
bit
Doctor
happier about
Strange, the
letting
enemy
Emma
team can
through
probably
because
run like a
there is a little
dog
bit
comp.
of counterplay into
Mainly
ultimate.
because
So you see immunities on,
you
like,
lose
Cloak and
Mag
Dagger's
Bubble,
Eternal
and you
Bomb
lose the
stashes,
ability to
and
shut down
also the
Strategist
Punisher's
ultimates.
Final Judgment
Because
makes
we're
it a
banning
lot
Mag,
easier for the other
you can
side
play
to
Cloak and
shut
Dagger
down
and stuff like
any
that, so
potential
it's pretty
space
good.
that Psionic Seduction is looking to pick up.
Yeah, I mean that was the question I was going to ask. Really, is it
Not a
an
bad
element
system,
of
but it's like
teams wanted to build more
hella
around
cheese
the
in my
likes
opinion.
of Emma Frost? He had like the most common picked Emma Frost, I believe, and the same with Magneto. Have
Yeah,
100% presence.
it's
I think Magneto 100% presence pretty much across the board. He is
it's
either
like
picked or he is either banned.
you're
For
either
Loki
like
and
first
Luna,
pick
it's
ban is like
99%.
Emma
The
Mag,
only reason
like save or
why
ban
they
no
are
matter what.
100%
Like that's the
is
default.
because of the game that OG Seed played last week where they missed a ban.
Yes.
And I think that sent them into a bit of a panic and they didn't ban out the natural stuff. But also you are playing up against Schmungus that are sort of well known to play stuff like the Venom, the Spider-Man, other off-meta stuff that is well suited to those players. So I guess OG Seed were not really that worried about leaving the Loki and the Luna Snow on the board. But you're right, like Emma Frost being the main pick so
Do you
far.
think we'll win? I
Are there
don't
any,
know.
like, if we switch between
Kinda
this
up in
and
the
the
air.
bans graphic again, are there any faces that you are surprised to see, or you think that we should be seeing more of?
So I want to see, headed now into this week, whether or not teams are going to be trying to finesse the triple strategist ban that a lot of the attacker side teams are doing, where they get the
Hey
three
goat, what up,
bans
what up?
that they have, and they full target, they take Loki, they take Luna, which is expected, and then they take another strategist
Oh.
like the Invis or the Cloak and Dagger.
Goat, hello.
Because some of the other regions have started to finesse the system. What those teams are trying to do by going for a triple strategist ban out is force you into a really dicey backline composition where you have to play the
Let's
Ultron.
go Duck stream,
and
yeah.
you can't
The
play
rare
Ultron as a
stream.
second strategist. You have to play him in a triple strategist lineup. So you would slot in whatever
Rare
you have
stream.
access to left, and you would just sort of like mash it together with the Ultron. But regions like Asia, actually, and this is really, really interesting, have prioritized banning out the Mantis rather than the Luna Snow. So I want to see whether or not EMEA is going to start doing that, as we're going to be having a look and seeing the
What up,
schedule.
what up, what up, what up?
Because some of these
Up,
teams, I
Brad.
feel like, might actually, with the players that they have on their
Over on
roster,
YouTube.
change up the pick and bans drastically. If you've got players like Saint Tomoto, well, Captain America is going to be the insta-ban rather than Magneto, I feel.
Yeah, and it feels like, I think one of the things that you wanted to highlight
Everyone's
is
doing
the,
it
the
well.
map types, right? I think that was
Watch
quite
a little bit of
surprising when we
this
sort of spoke about it. It's just like the different
stuff.
types of maps having that much of an impact
First
on the
match,
draft system.
Mungus,
I do
the
feel like that's
streamer
something
team
that
versus
naturally is going to
L9.
change over time and become a
I
bit
forget
more
what
prominent.
L9
But this is
plays.
the
I know
schedule for
Schmungus
today.
plays like
All of the
whatever.
games that we are seeing, the 4 best of 3s are all incredibly
streamer team.
important. If you win, you go to the top 8, you go to playoffs, and you also make your way into stage 2 going off, at least if any information's changed, it should be exactly the same. If you lose, you are eliminated from this tournament, you will not be making playoffs, and you will also probably have to go up the gauntlet again to be a part of the Ignite scene, the stage 2. So any chances of being involved in the top end of, like, I think it's like 100k prize pool for stage 1 in EMEA, for the mid-seasons finals, it's $500,000, so yeah, you lose today, you don't get a cut of any of that.
Yeah, Schmungus versus Low9 should definitely be a match to watch for, which I'm very excited for. Schmungus have such an amazing roster.
Alright, so
Just
this
because
match
they
is
play such weird
loser is
things.
out, the winner goes
Both
on,
being
which is the
able to
big
play
thing.
the Strange, like, if you
Winners
look
go to
at the Strange
playoffs,
before,
losers
but
are.
now the Strange has been absolutely giga buffed, with Maelstrom of Madness having its damage fall-off removed. The pick potential in the Eye of Agamotto has increased massively. As too has Andrew's Venom, the Feast of the Abyss, in a matchup against
big
Favorite
change,
Battlefield
or that's a
so
big
many
thing coming up.
times
These,
was catching
like these
both
are
of
big
the
matches,
strategists at the same
and I'm
time.
surprised like
And it's
I don't know.
one of those
NetEase
things-
doesn't like promote it
we
as
saw a lot
much.
of the Invitational back in March of like how strong Venom was, but the synergy was not only very useful against Berber Participant, despite losing that series 0-2, it did take a point in Krakoa, so it was down to this third and final objective, which they sort of had scary
Matches.
moments against Berber Participant. But for Low 9, it's a sort of different story. They lose out on that first game. I think against All Business it was. It was fairly close again.
See if the
Like,
quality's better
it
on
was a
Twitch.
full 3-map series. We haven't seen that many of those in the first week of EMEA. There's been a lot of 2-0s. But bright moments, I think, from this squad, especially as they knocked out Blood Cariudo in that elimination bracket on Sunday.
Yeah, Crisis.
I think the quality is. Rabbits.
Mantis is already going to be changing because as all this
If there's
planned,
ads though.
they left the Captain America up for grabs on the first map of Hell's Heaven, and that was the round that they lost. They lost the domination, and instantly after that, in map 2, they
a tad
did
bit better, the
ban it
quality.
out of the cycle entirely. So if Schmungus have done their homework, we're going to be seeing the Captain America get taken out immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem that we get so much impact out of all of the roles. Certainly DPS, the duelist, there's so many options. For Vanguards, there's so many options. You're a strategist, main, right?
Yes.
How rough is it to play in this system? Like you said, like the final 3 bans that you would get in a draft, typically now aiming to take out 3 strategists, all of which are like Luna, strong ultimate, Loki, incredibly strong ultimate,
Yeah.
and then Invisible Woman that has her moments, like her push-pull, Force Physics is really good in being aggressive, but also stopping Wolverine, just diving on top of you as much as you can possibly help it. But also, like you said, Cloak and Dagger. And I think that it does feel like all of those like hard-hitting supports that do have the ultimates that can out-sustain these big fights and big burst damage elements,
True.
they're the ones being taken out. So if you're a strategist, you're working with a little bit less than you're used to, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Mantis being left is a different way of playing because Soul Resurgence isn't going to out-heal any duelist ultimate coming through from the other side. But what you take the Mantis for is it's a very glass cannon kind of playstyle. You take it for the inspiration, you take it for the damage boost, the 12%, and you play basically pocket your duelist. You would have either an Iron Man, maybe a Punisher, maybe a Torch, sometimes even an Ultron, as a lot of the teams in the Asian regions are actually doing. They will just pocket something that has mass damage output in both the neutral and their ultimate cycle, and they'll play for that so that they can literally just have an easier break point in comparison to the other team. Because what we had last week is Punisher versus Punisher. Both Punishers got final judgment.
if you're looking
Who
for
can pocket
drops,
the
make sure
Punisher
to
better
put
before the other Punisher falls over, and that
drops.
was essentially all it was.
For Magik
Whose
skins,
duelist
like
was
the
getting more value.
Wolf
And I
Galactica,
feel
just
now
like
that we're
all the other
moving into the second
characters
week and with teams
want that. If
already
not, I
having
appreciate
started
working on
going
you
for the
as well.
Mantis Invis or the Mantis Cloak and
Everyone
Dagger
is
pairing,
doing
we're either
well
going to be
today.
seeing that way more often and much more coordinated too, now that there's been a little bit of time and teams and scrims can really properly rehearse that timing, or we're going to see teams take it off the table entirely.
It does feel a little bit as well like while Schmungus have, I wouldn't say surprised, we know how good they are as a team. This win of OGC, the dominant win, but I also feel like we talk about the sort of meta that has been forming. I do feel that they're somewhat suited to it as well, because these aren't players that you think of like, okay, this is one of the best Lokis in the scene. Well, you're never playing Loki again at this rate, so you have to move to your second, third pick option. When you have got these guys that have thousands of hours streaming the game and also playing competitively for however long, they don't really care that they get put on off-meta heroes. In fact, they will pick the off-meta heroes themselves with the likes of Scarlet Witch.
Probably gonna see like a
Is there like a head-to-head, a
Dom
matchup
off the bat, 'cause
in
that's how they're
any of the
playing
roles
it?
that you think is worth looking at? You mentioned Crisis for Low 9. Do you sort of think him versus Craggy's the call? Necro, speaking of
Wolver versus
playing
Boga.
a lot of Spider? Yeah, you reckon?
Let's see.
Wolver versus Boga. Strange. It's going to be a Doctor Strange off. Who's the better Sorcerer Supreme?
We get to see it finally like come to fruition. So we have got the new draft system. There's a lot of new faces in here because I might be seeing the drops. Moxie, again, just talk us through the natural things. We've gone over it with the graphic. Now what's it like in the real world?
Okay, Vanguard's
Ban
also
Mag,
been out
ban
immediately,
Emma.
But Low 9, oh, hold on a minute, we spotted. It's been an Emma ban from Schmungus first. There's going to
Save
be a
Mag,
Magneto
yeah.
save
Standard.
for Low 9, not the Captain America save for Saint Moto, which was a potential.
This is standard.
Schmungus and Low 9, as we've established.
You
they're
have to
more than
mirror
happy
this,
to play
otherwise
Doctor
it's gonna be
Strange as their
miserable.
Second Vanguard. Schmungus can now
Okay,
start
we don't.
targeting down one strategist. Out goes Loki before they can instantly.
I'm not a fan of
save
that.
the hero.
I feel like
And
you
by
have to
saving
mirror
the
there.
hero, we mean
That's
block them
fine.
from being banned. So we're going to have one-sided
Surely we mirror the
Emma
Loki ban, though.
versus one-sided Magneto.
Which has been the go-to.
Don't.
Like that's
Ban the
almost
one
like the
trick.
first phase of the
One
draft
trick is
right
out.
there. The Venom starts a new one, and this is where, like you mentioned, these triple bans that you have on the side over on low 9, you might be just put towards support, but you can also be very specific. Taking away the Venom
The
off the hands
Luna
of White
mirror,
Andrew
that's
is a good
fine,
way to
that's
make sure that there's
standard.
no real burst
For most of the teams
moments
in
that can take you
EMEA.
out in a game mode like domination. It's a lot more gambly, it's a lot more risky.
Wolves
The likes of
save.
Luna Snow, again,
Pretty
I
good.
don't think we really saw all that much of her last week because
They're
she's
saving
such a common ban in the
Ultron,
second
okay.
phase.
The change up.
The save of the Ultron means that almost surely Smungus are going for that triple
But
support.
they're probably going
Yeah,
triple.
Schmungus are perfectly fine playing the Ultron. Necros has been playing the Ultron a whole lot. They're more than happy
That's
to
okay,
embrace
I mean,
it. Low 9 now might be able
I
to
think
take
it's
out
fine.
another strategist. They could go, yeah, they're gonna go for the Invis women. So
That's a pretty good
potentially we're gonna
ban.
see some elements of dive coming through from Low 9's composition, especially because Captain America still has not been targeted.
This is looking like
by the side of
dive, like
Schmungus,
she
but
said.
Low
It
9 are
definitely
gonna
is. But saving the
prioritize
puns,
saving
it's a
that
good save, I
Punisher.
think.
Magneto has
Especially
already
because the
been
mag.
taken out of what Schmungus can
This is
play.
a big
And
thing.
they thought about going for
Never
the Punisher
mind.
save, but this is what I was expecting. It's the Cloak and Dagger save instead, because Cloak and Dagger's value has risen exponentially, and there's the targeted Saint Moto
That's
ban
interesting.
coming on for no Captain America, but because they went for Saint Moto's hero pool, Crisis gets to play the premier duelist of
This
the Punisher,
kills through support
and they're going
ults.
to have the Cloak and Dagger's Terror Cape line up
Probably
to make sure that that final judgment is
Boards.
dealing
I'm not sure
even
what
more
Craggy plays in
damage.
this position. I guess Star-Lord is fine. You
Lots
can
of
play
sort of
Res.
breakdown. I do find it interesting.
Play Res
actually,
comp,
looking at the
like
bands away
with
of the
main heal
Loki
quote.
is not a part
Okay,
of
we're looking
them.
at
They
BP,
went for
never
the
mind.
Invisible Woman.
You might
Is
be
that a
trolling.
little bit like a it's no point really going there for Desley because there's not as many good ultimates.
I like
to
the
copy.
BP
Like,
though.
What do you think of the thought process?
I think it's
Good down
okay
low.
on burning
to remove
T'Challa.
things like force
Dom as well.
physics, because if you're trying to set up a Doctor Strange going in with an Eye of Agamotto has to worry. The cooldown that you worry about the most, other than just being shielded, is the force physics with the knockback. Because the thing about force physics is that if the enemy is in the air, if they're jumping, or if
Down a
you're
bit.
Doctor Strange and
So this is a big thing to keep in mind. So the penny team up, when you drop the penny, the penny shield gen, you get 50 shield.
Set up, ready to
So
sort of
50
begin
extra
and
HP instead of the
enforce
normal
these
rocket where you get
squads, whether we'll be
25.
seeing
So this
more
is a good thing to remember when
over
you're
in the
playing this
playoffs.
game and you want that extra
See
bit of
if they can go a
HP.
little bit further in this tournament
Just start
too. At the
doing
same
that.
time, low 9 pretty late on in the process of signing
Walking
up, came
out
through the second qualifiers.
EP
Looking to see
Star-Lord.
exactly if they can
I'm
take
not
out
a-
Schmungus.
Yeah,
Like, it's not bad. The
The
biggest thing is the wolf or the mag difference. That's a big thing. I think it's fine. If we're going like a pseudo dive, fungus, as well as L9 is going kind of a dive as well. Big pick off the bat.
To actually find the engagement that he's looking for, and it means currently that we're in a 5v5 situation, but with Pinecone already down for low 9, they're missing a substantial amount of sustain.
Giving them a taste of their own medicine by Saint Moto running a Venom right into Schmungus and White Andrew especially. Desley was the one to go down first, and the point is still
Pretty
just
good.
trickling over for low 9. The progression is pretty good.
Why
for
is
Schmungus. The
him so
eliminations are
pixely?
going back their way. A disengage, not losing too many bodies, whilst Schmungus have actually built up a couple of ultimates, but still wailing on a couple.
Yeah, KG, no surprises that he's been able to build up.
This is not on my end. This is literally their end. Game looks so pixelated.
Primary AoE connecting to all of our players. That and the fact that they've been able to team up the Terror Cape with bogus follow through on this Maelstrom of Mantis has been absolutely crucial. The Saint Moto tries to find the off angle, pressures out Necros on the Panther to make the rest of his team have a little bit more
26 to 16%.
No follow-up pressure afterwards. Jerky's not
Basically,
able to
we're
get
just
into
building
position.
time, stalling on the
They need
point
to force this
for as
Eternal
long as we
out
can.
quickly.
That's how you play dumb.
Target gets a free galactic legend before Wolf has got the ultimate to absorb it.
That's the downside of not having a
Cherokee is sat on the Dance of the Butterflies, just got it online, wanted to just wait out some of these defensive ultimates that are coming in. Meteor M actually from Wolver, looking to try and find the right target, in the right position, but a little bit of cover, just keeping Schmungus alive for the time being. KG managing to take
This was very bad.
just before the ultimate might have been potentially used. Means that this is not a bad fight for Schmungus. The contest is still there from low 9. But whittled down, Craggy was the one that started that fight with the Galactic Legend. He's 50% having another one.
They're doing very good here. Like, this is perfectly fine.
Access to any of their ultimates because Schmungus comes on proof the Psionic Seduction, connecting onto low 9, connecting onto Crisis before the
20%.
Punisher can utilize the final judgment and the CC immunity of it. And Schmungus off of the back of that, hold on to the point for the entire
Psylocke Venom high ground to initiate a dive. Split.
But now low 9, they've got the ultimates. The question is, can Crisis actually
Look at the dive.
they're potentially going to have to pair up Feast of the Abyss and
They're diving a Loki, which is like the problem, the big issue.
have the sustain ultimate, but they do have Desley with the regeneration domain and the Loki close, which means the Feast of the Abyss feasts on air.
Regeneration domain, just keeping everybody alive, and it's
Back.
just a battle of getting these support
Backing.
ultimates online. Wolver, though,
Both
with
healers
the
are
Dance of
gone.
Butterflies as support,
I mean, they managed to get 99 though.
should be low
That's
9, able
very
to get the
good.
point. But Schmungus have done a really good job of putting this all the way to 99%, saving onto these ultimates and just trying to disengage, making sure the Crisis
That was a
doesn't
pretty
get
good
too
stagger
much
as well.
on. He does have his ultimate ready for the final judgment.
I mean, they managed to get 99, so
Just
in
needs to
theory,
buy
Schmungus
time.
should win this literally on ult
Crisis has
alone
been
if they
holding
build their
on
ult
to
economy
Golden
fast enough. We
for a
almost
while,
have
actually.
Star-Lord.
They're wanting to wait for
We
Godspeed
almost
to
have
hit
Eye.
turn so that
That's
the
very
two
good.
can be used in sync, which
Who are
means
you
that
rooting
Punisher's
for?
gonna be able to
How is
continue to
Schmungus?
receive
I
that
think
250 heal per second as long
I don't.
as he
I think they're
plays
considered the
inside the
underdogs.
eternal
I would say.
bond.
Like,
Schmungus
I
do
think
have
both teams are
Galactic
fine,
Legend.
but
Wolver
like whoever
7%
loses
away
out,
from
which
the
is
Meteor Amp. He should be able to get it online as the
Um,
Galactic Legend ultimate
it's kind of like
comes on
Solaris for
through.
NA. It's like a
Craggy's looking for
stream,
any
like a
person
quote unquote
or
stream meme team
isolated,
to
but
like a
Wolver is
pretty decent
immediately
team.
there. That's getting all absorbed forces. The regen domain as well coming in through from Desley as Boca Shield was not in position, and Crisis is able to take the Psylocke down.
Pretty good.
Fast descent comes on through. Necros tries to find the hero moment, takes Blonsky down, which means no eternal.
That's a very good Eye of Agamotto.
Got two. The Eye of Agamotto there from Boga. It's just the attention that's been split over on this objective. Low 9.
No touch.
Fighting back. They were up against Craggy's Galactic
Touch.
Legend. The Meteor M just buying a little bit of space, but
Save
Necros
portal.
just finding people in the shadows in these little corridors to find the picks. And whilst everybody's attention is focused away, you mentioned Boga as a player to watch. He'd catch them out by surprise, and Low 9 loses
Pretty good,
the
pretty
first
good.
point, which I don't know if it's
How about
too
you?
much
Who
of a
you
surprise.
rooting for,
Schmungus
my
have been
friend?
really good in these domination modes. It's a lot more of a intuition, coordination kind of play. The one thing you can say about Schmungus is these players as a core have played together quite some time now.
Yeah, low 9 are going to be mixing things up entirely. Crisis
So we're looking at
actually sacrifices
double
the final
strategist
judgment
ultimates. We're looking at
entirely
solo.
to swap over to the Winter
Nowhere
Soldier,
near
which is a
our
clear
cloak and
indicator.
dagger. We
Low
should
9
win
wants
first
this
fight
dive
based
out of the
on
way.
ult economy
Bionic Hook is
alone.
gonna come in
We
through
could
from
win on
Bucky.
L9.
Necros tries to go
Hard to
in
say.
deep and catch onto one of these
Maybe
strategists.
because we have
He's
this
gonna
up
get
ready
hooked,
to
he's gonna
go.
get Troopers Fisted, and he's gonna send
We almost
Bucky
have
Shield
Emma.
hustle express style back to his respawn
We
point.
almost have Venom.
Problem, though,
Not
is that
necessarily a
Low 9,
major
like,
thing,
so
but
much hinges
50%
on
to
Cherokee
both our
and Sensimoto,
duelists.
the duo hit squad,
Good.
being able to find an in
Ult
into
economy for
Schmungus'
Schmug is
backline, but
should,
actually
in
on this
theory, win
era
the
is
fight,
making
but
it so difficult for the Venom to have the confidence to take the fight until Diamond Form's gone.
Venom's already high ground. Ducks off to the side, taking off angle. Venom's probably gonna dive. Never mind. Venom's a 1v1 in Panther. Right. Taking high ground, off angle. Fighting on point. Smart. That's what you should do.
Eternal Bond is going to be the initiation, forcing out that invisible middle.
Yeah,
Nice.
and they had Terror Cape, which
There's a
was
thing
still
about the
taking
Terror Cape,
vulnerability, even
or
through the invis
sorry,
boundary.
the Terror Cape, like
165 heals per second is
send out that
nothing
wall
to
and
the
you
target
literally
focus
nuke
that
anybody
Schmungus
that
were
like
able
gets
to
hit by it.
output.
Even if they're
They
inside an
enforce
invisult, you
invis
literally
boundary
just die to
drops
it, which is pretty
prematurely,
crazy.
and Schmungus will be able to pick up the point, which is horrible news for low 9. They're on a dive composition. They're gonna have to take a brawl fight with half of their team still trying to find an in into Schmungus' back line.
I mean, I'm rooting for a good Marvel Rivals gameplay.
He's just trying to
Essentially.
find a little bit of a gap whilst the dive has gone in from Sensimoto, jumping in
A little
onto
bit of a
multiple
dive.
people with the tendrils. It might be a bit of a struggle to disengage safely here as the
We are
swing
playing
doesn't go 1. At least you're able to
we're
get
playing
a little more
BP
resilience there.
into
But the Psionic
Psylocke,
Seduction
which is a little
pulling
risky.
all the way back in. Boga with
Also,
an airstrike
this is
catching
so
out onto Crisis
pixelated.
first.
And it's literally on Marvel Rivals' end. They don't have whatever turned up.
Wolver, these Meteor M's not quite catching, consistently missing.
The bit rate out of my control.
Wailing out the storm and holding on to the
Not bad.
objective as long as they possibly can.
Desley has finally been taken down. The problem is that Necros, just the pressure of the Panther, gets the Vibranian Spear onto the Cloak and Dagger and forces out the Eternal Bond as Gonski just needs to use the dash to create distance between themselves and the Duelist. Lone9 will be able to find the flip.
Pretty good, pretty
but it
good.
costs them
How about you?
so
How?
much
Who?
in that
Oh
engagement.
my God, words are
Yes,
hard.
you're gonna have Invis boundaries,
Who are you
but Logan has
rooting
Fire
for?
Agamotto to punch for
I
all
want to see
that
like who's
healing.
rooting for
It's
who
gonna
in the
get to
chat.
Crisis. He needs to
No,
be
let me know.
sure this Bionic Hook needs
Necros
to be able
gets
to take the
cuts.
Strange down before that ultimate comes
Lives.
through. That is the Force physics.
Not
This is
dead.
why you took the Invis woman over
This person got greedy for the elimination.
That's a great pick from
Great.
Craggy, actually.
That was a really bad overextend on his part.
Bit of anti-dive,
That
a
was
little bit
like
of heal from Jarecki, and then
not
Craggy's
good.
coming in for the peel there
We're
too,
looking
so
at one
Mantis
combo,
is
two
actually making
combos.
this a
We have
65 for the time being.
I
Boga just
almost
trying to
have
break down these shields.
Strategist
Eventually,
ultimates.
Agamotto up on the high ground.
The tempo
Getting
for
some
L9's
taken away from
Strategist
him for a
ultimates
second.
are off of
Jarecki to the
Schmungus's, so
backline.
that's a big disadvantage that they're working with.
The thing that helps, he's only connected onto Jarecki, doesn't quite have their ultimate, and through all
Massive
the
disadvantage for them.
that's coming through, nobody from Low9 quite going down yet. Craggy going to be re-inviting himself back into the fight, and why Andrew's been able to find so much over on this Emma Frost.
Schmungus. Rise Nars going for Schmungus, nice.
KG had the Eternal Bond, which is the better sustain for
I will say their
Schmungus.
their domination plays a lot better than Convergence and Convoy, I would say, in comparison to like other teams I've noticed. So this is good by L9. They're taking the high ground. High ground is a very good advantage point. If I were Schmungus here, I would be calling my team to hold that middle high ground. That's what you should probably be doing, but because you're playing this weird comp, it's a little bit harder to hold. That's a good pick. Necros.
Necros goes down to the Winter Soldier, and Gonski is going to utilize the Eternal Bond just to buy Wolver that opportunity as Terra Cape comes through. Feast of the Abyss almost takes Craggy down off of the back of it.
Good Terra Cape.
Will fall afterwards.
Dexamoto finding the opening with a Feast of the Abyss. And now it's if you
A
can
good
sort of
stagger.
keep resetting
Done not
Schmungus for
10
the
seconds
time being.
compared to else.
Everybody backing off.
I mean, the ult economy for Schmungus is like really good. All of this.
Around, finding an opportunity,
You
potential
have
blood in the water
this
over on,
and this coming up
like
for
the more
L9.
accurate site for him, I suppose. But you've
We
got
should
some
be
really
looking
nice
for like a
defensive
Eye of
options to support
Agamotto
him.
Star-Lord
Warrior
play.
Clone's gonna be the one that gets in there
We could be
first.
looking for a
But
Star-Lord
the
Emma
Eternal
play
Bonds
for
and that Star-Lord
Schmungus.
daggers, it's a bit more leaning towards Kaiji.
For L9, we should be looking for like Psylocke Bucky. It's a... I don't know. Got into the Invis shield, so he's full. Two cloak ults.
Eternal Bond from KG paves the way for Schmungus to be able to set on up into that space. They catch Pineclone on the disengage. Slowly but surely, Low9 are bleeding players that they
I love the
can't afford to
pixels.
lose. Crisis comes back on the Strange, tries to come and through with the
Be looking for...
teleport, but what's
he
buying
did get the
time for?
TPF.
It has to be a Feast of the Abyss, but Saint Murderous is being drained of health bar. Schmungus managing to focus fire this Venom. They haven't been able to find
counter
it,
to-
but they have been able to
counter
chase
to-
him out. He's back in 4%. Feast of the Abyss comes on through, doesn't find anything. No, Schmungus
Still went
scatter
off.
away while Andrew grabs Pineclone to make sure that there's no follow-up, no potential.
2-0 Schmungus, wow.
sustain from
Impressive.
Venom. And Schmungus
Very good.
take burn into the zero.
Pretty good.
I mean, that point on
Pretty
the
good,
map,
pretty
we're seeing
good.
Some really cinematic last fights that are happening. But there for Schmungus, it's the
L9
fact
kind
that
of
they
misplayed
survived through all of those
at the
offensive
top when they were
ultimates
holding
towards the end
top.
there. They didn't have that Eternal Bond from the Cloak and Dagger. They didn't
It's
have the
unfortunate.
Loki ultimate. It was a lot of it the
They should have
regeneration domain,
been
coupled with how
tracking
strong
that
ability
ult,
is.
the
But
Eye of
also, we
Agamotto.
did see the low-key copy the Cloak
That's a
and
big
Dagger.
thing.
What I really liked is that they didn't just instantly use the ultimate. They used a full
Thing.
duration of it. And it's not just copying an
bad.
ultimate that Loki's ultimate is. You copy their whole kit, which means that you do get another Terra Cape. So you do have a lot more like opportunities to put that extra damage in on the opponent. But it's really suiting the fact
Yeah.
that Schmungus loved those kind of chaotic fights. It was a
In
lot more
theory,
meta
L9
from them
should
in
win
comparison
because
to
they
last
had
time
the
that we saw them,
Magneto
play on domination. But man, it really suits them.
Yeah, no, like like you said, the Loki
Like,
going
there
for the
shouldn't be
copy of the
necessarily a
Cloak and
world
Dagger
where
and holding
L9
on to
loses
the original One Piece,
Mag.
there's a reason for that. You don't get pulled out of your ultimate early if you're Loki copying.
Like, if I'm
ultimate that
L9,
has a duration. So
if
one
I'm
of the
L9,
plays, one of the ways
even
that
though
these
it's a
players
bad
actually
play to
min-max
play
their God of
Thing,
Mischief coming through from these
it's a
Lokis
very bad
is
play to
that
play Thing
they
into a
go
Star-Lord.
for
I
the
think we
copy,
swap Venom for
and then that
Star-Lord.
12-second
Because
copy
essentially they're getting the
duration
same exact
can get
value. The Venom and
extended if they
Thing.
use something like
The Thing
Fate
has
Force from
potential to
Luna
counter
or Eternal Bond
the
coming on
hyper
through from a
mobile
Cloak and
characters.
Dagger. And where it gets even more meta in terms of min-maxing is that if you're a Loki and you use Regeneration Domain and then you use God of Mischief, that cooldown doesn't get put on pause. That continues all the way through.
We'll probably go
to
into like
Flicker.
a convergence
So what
map
you can
next.
actually have is you can
Yeah.
have another regeneration domain into copy, into ultimate, into regeneration domain coming out of it. So you essentially get 3 ultimates for the price of 1, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a hell of a first map to go of L9 wanting to do a little bit more if they want to be trying to make it.
I think L9 favors like.
When we come back, it's their choice of map, and we'll see if they can bring things.
I think L9 favors
Game Strongest
Midtown.
soon, so don't go anywhere.
If I remember right, I think they favor Midtown over anything else. Oh, I'm gonna get copyright. Oh. I'm gonna get copywritten. I mean, yeah, it was a very good match, but when I could misplayed a little bit, I think when they were holding that high ground and went for the Bucky combo, I think you have to be aware of the Eye of Agamotto. They just kind of committed out really far ahead of the plan. I think L9 goes midtown. I believe they played some like they played triple tank, a tank or whatever. I could be remembering wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did some cheese stuff like that. Fungus. Fungus. I want to see. I really want to see the VP match because I want to see if they recovered after the 2-0. Like now, people are like looking at VP like it's essentially. That's a big match to be looking out for. Schmungus. Well, Schmungus is 2-0 currently, so or 1-0. So the team you're rooting for is doing well, my friend. My friend. Un minuto. Unmute. They don't get copyright. Bum 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 bum. Pretty good match though. There's some misplays, but it's not. L9.
The sun might be setting on L9's chances to be making it for playoffs, but we are heading to a realm of eternal night as Midtown is going to be.
Oh, we are playing Midtown. Okay.
And we've spoken a little bit about like the draft system, but also the tournament system has also changed a little bit more when it comes to game modes as well. Every series will start with domination, so that King of the Hill control game mode type we will always get at the start. Then the team that loses gets to choose map. But where is it different from before? Because it used to be that you could pick any map that you wanted realistically. Now there's a couple of caveats, right?
Yeah, so the team that loses, so like you said, to start us off with, we're always going to be starting on a random domination.
Always start on
To make
Dom.
up for the fact that it's random, the team who is the highest seed will be rewarded with being able to pick their side, which is important because it manages to secure them the ban side that they want, right? They're both technically attacking because
Highest
it's a
seed
domination
gets
round,
pick
but
ban.
they'll be able to decide if they want the triple bans or if they want to be able to go for the ban last on that defender side. Then the team that loses is able to take us to a different map type. It can be either convoy or convergence, and they get to choose the side, whether they defend first
So
or whether they attack first. The team that then loses that next one with the third map get to take us to a map that has not been played, a map type that hasn't been played. So if convergence is picked in round number 2, they have to take us to a convoy map, and then they'll also be able to get to pick the side that they choose.
Interesting.
So if you're just an absolute tearing domination team like
Interesting.
Humongous is, for example, but it can do a lot of damage. If you lose, you can't just keep taking. You can't take us to Hell's Heaven, for example. Or,
No.
Krakoa, right? They have to take us to.
It's a very interesting system. I don't know if I like this system.
Midtown is a full convoy.
I think it's a fair system, but I just don't like the pick bans. How one side will always have the advantage of the other. I'm not a fan of that because, like, when it comes to hero shooters, you want to be able to mirror comps, right? You want to be able to mirror. That's kind of what makes a hero shooter a hero shooter. Even though it's kind of boring that way, it's just like kind of how all hero shooters go, which is, I don't know, unfortunate. I don't know.
So Midtown is an interesting one because, like you said, we see so many different compositions for different areas of the map that you fight in. At the beginning of the season, when the Penny Parker and the Rocket sort of, I'm not saying cheese, but definitely grated mozzarella over the top of composition was coming on through, you would grab something like a Rocket Raccoon, an Adam Warlock, a Cloak and Dagger, something that with the Adam you can self-revive, with the Rocket you can revive someone if they fall prematurely, with the Cloak and Dagger everyone's playing inside that very small room, so Eternal Bond comes online very, very quickly, and then you would run either the you would run the Penny Parker, but you would then run something like maybe a Strange or a Magneto to be able to bounce onto that point and make sure that the payload didn't move. And that was a very good strategy. For a lot of the time, it would actually be able to complete full holds, except the attacker's side respawn is right behind that little small room, and what people have started doing is
Jeremiah,
whether or not it is a spawn cheese comp, and they've gone back to spawn, and they've had their Vanguard players pick up duelists, and they've ran a solo strategist Mantis, and they picked up a Punisher or a Storm or a Moonknight or a Squirrel Girl or a combination of all of those, and they've just thrown spam into that room, and that spawn hold has snapped within the first fight.
It's an interesting one too, because Low9 also lost domination up against Blood Carudo in the elimination bracket on Sunday. They chose to take them afterwards and win on, because they reverse swept, Yggdrasil's path. They didn't choose this map. So I'm wondering if it's a little bit of like, Humongous might expect us to go here, or whether it's just a case of Yggdrasil's map has been in since like the closed beta, and the Humongous players have been playing this game pretty much since the birth of this game, right? So it's a little bit like take them to the newest map that there's probably a little bit more adapted meta to, and just hope for the best. Or do you think that there's certain characters that they want to try and lead towards or get away from? So far, again, this part of the draft up until now pretty much always plays out this way. It's very cookie cutter. I guess also the different thing is actually the save of the Loki instead of actually saving a tank. So they don't have Emma Frost or Magneto.
Yes, so this is very different to what we traditionally see. Low9 are going to be barred access to both the Emma and that Magneto, but they will be able to save the Loki for themselves and bar Humongous out of that Loki too. They're also going to be able to bar White Andrew out of that Venom. So a lot of the dive potential coming through from Humongous has been cut in terms of value that it can be finding. Humongous are going to remove the Luna from play, not just because of how strong Fate of Both Worlds is, but also the idle aura, the snowflake that you can place, especially given the fact that we've seen Low9 try and put Jerky towards that Psylocke, and having that Luna in the mix.
Ban Emma, ban Mag, save Emma.
Given the fact that she would
That's
the idle
pretty
aura,
insane.
the Luna's LOS,
And Luna ban.
Healing, as Low9 are
Save Wolf, save Invis. This is smart.
The Invis, which means probably a targeted Captain America ban.
That's very smart.
For the side of Humongous,
Captain America ban. Yeah.
Low9's Vanguard lineup has been
Pretty good.
well cut, is saying it nicely.
So what are you sort of feeling? It's weird to see a team save both the supports and the Loki. You're not really going to copy the invisible boundary because healing per second isn't as strong as
Torch
some
is
of
still
the
very
other
good.
Support ultimates.
This is a
Do you
good
think it's
comp.
more the Loki to
but
copy what they're
good
expecting
comp.
would be a cloak and dagger on the other side?
Counter dive. Loki is
This is
really
a
trying
very
to
good
counter
comp,
dive, plus
actually.
the fact that you're going to have regeneration domain, which is
A very good
cooldown,
comp.
but the value that it brings to the table might as well be a full strategist ultimate in and of itself. It's one of the only things that allows you to actually live one-shot potential, because regeneration domain doesn't just stop healing.
You'll have
you
to see
if
though.
you get
Yeah, it's a
one-shot,
very
it
good comp.
converts the damage that you would be taking in that one shot directly to your health bar. So with it, you can full face tank, Iron Man maximum pulse, Meteor M, whatever you choose, and you get 3 of them to position 2 as long as you have your doppelgangers up, because it copies everything that the Loki casts, including that regeneration domain.
That'd be a bittersweet symphony that might be happening for L9. And the drafts have been already getting pretty spicy. We sort of expected things to maybe homogenize a little bit more. Common things happening, but no, first game's given us some interesting tidbits. Jerky's going to be over on the Johnny Storm. Human Torch, that combination is going to come in to just give him a little bit more sustain in the air for the most part. Actually, a lot of flyers. Storm we saw a lot of in the Invitational on this map because you do have these sort of high lines to hide behind.
Pretty good walkout
But
on
seeing
comp.
the Storm and the Torch together is an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be having a lot of damage burst coming on through from the side of Low9 Jerky as well.
Fine.
To play with the invisible
This is a very good comp on paper. Like L9 sure just run through them. See. Oh, yeah, this is a very good comp on L9. It's insanely good. So with the raw damage, they should be able to run Schmungus down, but they're not playing it right, it seems.
As it's going to be Eternal Bond from KG. This is one of the strengths that Schmungus has. No one's gone down to the poke pressure that Low9's able to put, which means that KG has been able to channel all of it into sustainability, the cloak and dagger charge, and Low9 lose the range without that Vanguard. They have to go back to
Not be losing here.
It was only 2
neutral.
eliminations that we've seen on this map so far, and a minute and a half has passed.
Like the amount of
It's a
damage
good
we're
job for
doing on
Schmungus to
L9
actually
side.
just deal with all of this damage coming in, mitigating it, but maybe L9 losing a little bit of that burst, being able to bring somebody down from 100 to 0. Necros looking to try and find a dive in the right position, getting the Doctor Strange out of position, and there's the final judgment from Crisis, trying to find a little bit of space. He needs a little bit more support of his team, and he's got the backing of them, and finally he finds an opening onto both.
Happening right now. Yeah, that'll be dead.
To save the Doctor Strange. Supernova combined with a mega hurricane.
Just copy.
Schmungus's Invis boundary is not gonna be able to keep healing through that one. That's another reason why Low9 wanted to combine both of these players, but Schmungus have that Strange. Bogo fell early in the fight, so he will be able to instantly set up another teleport.
The retake the instant invis-ult.
Just directly out trying to find a grab. Last stand is going to be in play. Gonski went for the cover.
heck?
Invis boundary. Can they find anything? The grab potentially to get one of these players.
What?
But Necros with the last P turns onto the Bucky, or rather the Punisher fully instead, to make sure that Crisis goes.
I guess.
There is
Sure.
no firepower. Nice composition lacking that Punisher.
Schmungus being able to contest with the portal. Both Doctor Strange.
It's fine. I mean, they held. I don't think this is necessarily needed, but held.
Is he looking at Desley for the force physics to see if they can stop things from happening? Pinklone was very good at doing it for L9 in the last map, but it didn't matter all too much in the end, as Schmungus have been able to take it. Agamotto just skirting across the sky, not being able to see or catch anything. And
There's so much damage coming out. L9 side.
Craggy's been really good at these sort of redemption arc fights, but even he can only hold off for a little bit longer.
A big thing with this comp is like you're running single tank. I don't know if like going Ultron here is the play.
Securing all of the space for the Flyers is absolutely
It's just they don't have that much damage
come back into another fight. They need to
because you have Storm Punisher.
where both the
This
Storm
is like
and the Torch can play above the door.
an insane comp paired with the Torch. You just have infinite damage.
Of the Punisher, and that is a huge pick. Pyro Prison denying the there, but Necros answers back. Crisis with the final judgment goes down.
It's fine though.
Right, that Punisher. Low9 know that they've lost a lot of pressure onto both Kragi and Necros. They have no choice but to bend the knee and respect Shmungus enough to let them walk up.
Yeah, it's an opening because the good work that Shmungus did on the defense might be all for naught if they let this second
Nova combo.
through this quickly. There's
I
the
mean, I
fight
think that
coming
just
through
kills
and
through.
everybody's stuck in this corridor. What else can you do other than just burn them down? The final
just
judgment
died.
from Craggy, all of that trash damage leading towards a big ultimate, and most importantly, whilst it's not leading to eliminations just yet,
Pretty sectioned
as
off
with
here.
these attackers, it means that this is not going to be a clean disengage. It's going to be
Those are pretty good
more
staggers.
Rage of Ultron's going to be used from Necros, and more time wasted from Shmungus on this defense.
This is smart from Shmungus. This is taking space away from a composition that has flyers, and flyers
Good
need
turret
space.
spots.
They need to be able
Having
to
your
get
Strange in
into
front
the
is also
air,
very good.
not through these door
Double
frames.
shield, triple shield.
Shmungus are gonna be
Triple
able to
shield
make it
turret.
cost.
Alright.
Sensamo's one that's
I
going
respect
to
that.
potentially try and go for a portal
A
play a little
gaming
bit later,
station.
but first they have to get past this fight, this Punisher turret.
So much
and it's being
damage.
giga-pocketed. The Aegis from the Armor, the Doctor Strange shield, regeneration domains already
Lot of
coming from
damage.
Gonski's side, just to make sure that they have the firepower, the stance to be able to push Kragi back. As finally Low9 will be able to move forward. The ultimate comes on through. Final
Storm
judgment.
speed
Shmungus
plus
try to double shield
plus
on
Punisher
the
ult to
disengage. They fall
run people
back
down
into the
here.
small rooms, and they
Very
do
good
manage
kiting
to
though. Very good
get
kiting.
by losing a single player, but Low9 want more. If his boundary gets invested,
The
Koji
one
wants to
shots.
get the bomb that goes too aggressive, and
That's the
goes
one
down.
downside about Cloak and
Bogan
Dagger
has
ult.
got
You
the eye
just
by
get
the
one
wall,
shotted by a
invisible
Punisher
boundaries. There's a
shotgun.
lot of little ways that you could just slip in and catch people out.
Good
It's gonna
eye.
be used
Very
against
good eye.
4 onto L9. There's the final judgment as well. That's the combination that L9 were really not wanting to go up against.
I'm not gonna
Shmungus
lie,
has done so
Boger is
well
kind of
to
like
just
solo
deal
carrying.
with all of this offensive damage
Like his
that's coming from
eyes are
L9.
very.
Whether it's just holding
kind of
back the
that.
S key to disengage, all these sort of support resources, not even ultimates, but just keeping everybody alive for the time being for Shmungus. How on earth are they
In terms
surviving
of ult economy, we almost have this.
Crisis now swaps
Plus
over to
I.
Hellanoma Punisher.
We have Ultron Emma, which is
Pressure onto Necros up in the
fine.
sky.
The only thing it will
Very
counter
much
is
onto
this
Low9
ultimate.
anticipating Shmungus getting aggressive with that one and trying to take away more
But
of their
it's-
space. Firestorm is going to come into the mix. Rage of Ultron paired up with Psionic Seduction, but the Storm has already been able to combine with the Torch. However, all of the picks are on Shmungus' side.
Did get a
The
couple
regens have been
picks.
coming on through. Kragi out of the
Really,
way.
we're calling out that Kraggy's right here, right?
Push untouchable.
What?
Inside the Dagger Dome coming on out, and Low9 have been able to get their way onto the payload, but it feels like it's just
I mean,
temporary space.
To be fair, holding second is so hard.
He's about to ultimate. The shotgun's enough. And this is going to be a rough contest. You've got the supports coming in from Shmungus to hold this one down, but because the last person...
Yeah, I don't know about that. Craggy kind of just walked up on the side and got like so much value because no one paid attention. It's a little interesting. I guess the comms were probably cluttered on L9.
Low9 came in with a composition that had
But
so much
I
scorable
assume-
potential. The problem was that it got melted. Quite
You might go
literally, it
for
just
the,
got
like,
melted. Craggy
the
was,
tank
so
gameplay.
pocketed from his team. They understood the
I think we
second
go
they
like...
saw the Punisher, the
I'm at
Storm, the
L9's
Torch,
team right now.
Craggy's just getting an
I'm
absolute
thinking we go
gallery
like triple
to
tank
fire onto.
and just bunkering
The
for
Flyers,
as long as we
they've
can.
only got one invis. Loki is one of the worst strategists at being able to heal Flyers because his primary fire is AoE based. The way that you aim with Loki, you don't aim directly at them, you aim for their feet. You aim so that you
Craggy's
can
so
get the
good,
most amount
honestly,
of
still.
splash heal onto the ground so that it can connect onto multiple players. That's why he's so strong in a triple Vanguard composition. Into Flyers though, his accuracy is going to be subpar.
Oh, it's a rough one. I gotta say too, so let's say I'm a tier 3 sub to all of the Shmungus players. What's the win condition? How do they, like, is where they got on the map good enough? Is
Did I
it-
just-
is
I
it
think you just
worse than you'd
bunker,
sort of aim for?
but-
Is it better?
I don't know.
What is Shmungus'
feel like
win
bunkering
condition
is
here? How
always
do
the play.
L9 Stop this?
Scenario.
For Low9, they need a long A and they need a longer B. One fight needs to be won on B after the A take if the A gets taken at all. Low9 cannot go for the spawn hold because you're just in so much danger of being stuck on a bad composition for
Yeah.
multiple fights in a row.
I mean,
As Saint Murder's on the Venom, but Andrew's still got that ammo. If they try and go for this dive, you're just getting Diamond Form grabbed up. They want a triple strategist composition to have multiple avenues of sustain as well as damage output from Jerky up in the sky.
That's a good swap to Venom instantly for this. That's like so free for Wolverine. Great grab. No passive burn, that's also a plus for that. Yeah, playing Venom Groot into like a Punisher is like kind of insane. Very good cape there, but not a lot of value.
But eventually things are starting to look pretty good for Low 9. The elimination started to follow.
Yeah, stabilize a bit. Ult economy. Mirror. Pretty much mirror.
They've got Final Judgment and Eternal Bond in this next fight. Low 9 going to be stuck inside the invis boundary from Deadly coming on through. It traps
they have better.
If you try and pass out of it, you get slowed and you get melted by the Final Judgment that Kragi is going to
we're not
bypass Low 9's invis ultimate entirely.
Now we pop it?
Tries to find the hero moment. Gonski with the God of Mischief tries to pocket it with the regen domain. They have with that Ultra Shield.
I mean, it worked, but that was an interesting play. If we, I mean, it would have been a lot better if we mirrored the invis at that time, which we did. We got a little bit of a better invis, and I think if we Punisher ult inside of that invis, like, it's fine. This also worked. Not the end of the world. In terms of ults, we're looking at Groot, Fizz, at 4 ults on Shma. Better ult. We need to get a fight in and just not pop our ults on L9's side.
Away from the main focus of this front line. Objective now
Probably.
back in hands of Schmungus, and there's only a couple more meters to dive into, but not quite enough. Ekros wanted to build some of that range, but he also wants to keep that HP bar up as much as possible. Desley going down. Wolf has been very good at finding these first eliminations in the fight, and the last stand not really connecting onto much, forcing out some ultimates. Even the Eye of Agamotto from Boga just missing, thrown across the sky yet again, and the final judgment from Craggy.
Very good ult. Yeah, those walls are annoying.
Yeah, Schmungus tried to double stack again. Psionic Seduction and Final Judgments make everyone from Low 9 vulnerable.
That's a very good stagger, by the way. That's a very good stagger.
The Groot was too to be able to get the late stagger pick onto this Emma.
Nice. That is a stagger, by the way.
To regroup with the team faster. 53 seconds left. Schmungus have one good fight, and potentially if Bogu that goes down early, a teleport recontest, but it's looking dicey.
Low 9, as a reminder, not having access to Magneto nor Emma Frost, going for something that's a little bit more like March 2025, but Saint Amoto's been surviving. Wolf has been doing such a good job mitigating damage with the walls, but a Strangled Prison on the horizon is something that Schmungus needs to be careful about. Invisible,
a little bit of a far ult.
But it does mean that there are players in the back line that want to try and jump into the invisible boundary to survive. Just as the Strangled Prison's about to come in, the Rage of Ultron cutting through alongside the Final Judgment means a Crisis should be getting a hold of this one. It's going to be really hard for
Want to kill him last. Change last. Can't portal. March by L9. That was very good. That was just great.
What a play from Low 9. Strangling Prison and at the same time overlap with Rage of Ultron and Final Judgment. They create so many targets that Schmungus just don't have enough players to focus down every single one of them in time.
That was definitely like a comp swap angle.
But that just means that Crisis on that Punisher is free to let it rip with the Final Judgment quite literally shredding down all of those players from Schmungus stuck inside that Groot ultimate. We said that it needed to be long stalled out fights coming on through from the side of Low 9, that they needed to actually give their Punisher the space where they could pocket him and make sure that Final Judgment was finding the value that it should be in this meta, and that's exactly what they were able to do.
Yeah, we spoke about it a little bit in the break as something to sort of highlight for this one of like Crisis was very quiet in that first map. Is that his fault, or is that just because he is playing almost like the star duelist in a sense that he's not getting the resources that he needs? And I think we kind of got the answer here. He had a lot more freedom. Craggy was also sort of mirroring the same style. But I'm curious, right? Like, we spoke a lot about like what the bans are typically looking like. It feels that The general gist is you either want Magneto or Emma Frost. It is almost impossible to get both of them. It is an absolute disaster of a draft if you get neither of them. Here, Low9 didn't get any of them, and it seemed fine. Is that something to ponder, or is that just a case of the scenario that's happened in front of us?
Well, Low9 got the Loki. They specifically wanted the Loki, and while yes, Loki is going to struggle into healing flyers, Loki is absolutely a-okay at healing a Strange and a Groot and a Punisher, who are all going to be grouped up. And then you also have regeneration domain, because that was the thing. Like, we saw so many times that when Craggy and Crisis went head-to-head in terms of just utilizing their final judgment, Schmungus would be able to keep their Punisher up for longer. But with Low9 being able to come in through with that regeneration domain,
That was very good though by L9.
The hold potential over any strategist ultimate coming.
We need to swap Schmunk's comp up here.
Was able to stay alive
Probably go
so
like
much longer,
triple.
even through all of the focus fire coming on through from Schmungus' side.
We didn't really get too much.
Hey, I'm surprised the Wolf didn't get any value. Wolf should have gotten a ton of value.
Sort of switching it around. Somebody that we sort of expected or wanted to see a bit of his Captain America because of how strong it is has sort of done well to flex over. And even with Volvar pulling out a bit of the Groot, sort of rolling back the months, not quite the years, but the months, means that this is a pretty decent series, all things considered. And there's still quite a bit on the line when it comes to qualifying for stuff. We are going to see exactly what Schmungus are going to choose for their final map. It has to be a convergence one, as we sort of briefly spoke about. But we're going to see exactly what that's going to be very soon as we see how this best of 3 and this first qualifying spot for playoffs for today is going to go. See you soon.
This is my unnatural selection. Extermination!
Yeah, overall, it's a pretty good map, but I think we're probably gonna go to probably Convergence. Right. Yep. I think L9 needs to, or I guess if it needs to look at like comp swapping. Happen. Like there's clearly some points that like the comp was having an issue. They still stuck with it. Swap the comp, it solves a lot of problems, but maybe they didn't practice that. One thing. Insane music gameplay. Of winning.
obviously, drops are available today as we're going to go over with some of the cool stuff that's happening in Ignite. But just as a reminder, today is a bit important for EMEA. It's the second week, it's the first game that we're seeing, and the third map. Whoever wins this will be going to the top 8 of EMEA, which means playoffs, which means a straight buy into stage 2, which is a little later on this year, and avoiding to have to go through the gauntlet again, which Lone9 are going to be more used to because we saw them come through the open qualifiers recently. The Schmungus, they've been able to do the same. I think these are actually both teams that came in through the second open qualifiers, right? So it's basically who gets to stay and who has to go through it potentially all again, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it is going to be determined by one third and final map, which we know the map type. It has to be convergence. Where do Schmungus decide to take us, though? That is the question. It can't be Shinshibuya. Shinshibuya is out of the map pool, as I'm sure many people are very happy about. That point C on Shinshibuya has been the bane of every single attack side's push for literally the inception of Marvel Rivals Esports. I could potentially see maybe a Hall of Dejalia coming on through, but I feel like that might benefit Lone9's playstyle, especially given the fact that even if Saint Moto does not get the Captain America, he's going to be going for the Venom, and Venom able to attack Hall of Dejalia, be able to instantly dive onto the defender side high ground, just makes it a little
Schmungus is picking the map right now,
to be able to spin
and
all
the
of
side,
plates
and
of keeping that space intact.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, Clintar also seems like a pretty good one because we did see that Schmungus had a routing attacking side against OG Seed where they pretty much won every team fight that they were in, but they were really proactive in catching out OG Seed as they
I have a
were
few
trying to
ideas what they're
reset
probably
into
going to do.
their
They're
group.
definitely going to do
And I think that's gonna be
convergence.
important up
Have
against
to,
Lone9.
but
It did feel that we
I
were
could see a
talking about
Clintar.
places not getting the resources that they needed.
I could
I
see
think it's important that
Clintar, and I
Schmungus
could see
don't
Necros
allow
whipping out
Crisis to
Spider-Man
get
and
the
Clintar.
resources that he
Yeah, I
wants
could
in
see
some of
that.
those fights,
For whatever
which is
reason.
been a little bit harder to do in Midtown.
Even though it's like not good.
Yeah,
Like,
and I mean,
probably will.
Schmungus as well, we have to remember, Lone9 having lost that first round of domination, they got to choose which side that they wanted to opt for, and they opted for the side that got the first save. They opted for attacker's side, so that once they had the instabans come through, they immediately got to protect and ban out that Loki from Schmungus being able to bar them from it. And that definitely felt like a really big win condition in terms of resources that they were able to give. Not so much on the attack, but much more so on the defense. And Loki is very strong on the defense because you have the opportunity of putting your doppelgangers wherever you want before the fight begins, as opposed to an attacker side Loki, where a lot of the time you're burning those cooldowns either at the very opening stage of the fight or halfway through it. So the cooldowns are going to be coming through a little bit later into the fight, potentially, than you actually would want them to be able to combat some of those ultimates coming through. Schmungus having lost, however, that mid-town means that they can stop Lone9 from picking that side immediately. And if they want the Loki gone, they can take the Loki out before Lone9 can do anything about it.
So we did see Lone9 doing something a little bit interesting with the draft, with not wanting to get one of the main two vanguards, Magneto, Emma Frost, going for the Loki, kind of like you mentioned. Is that well, first of all, is that something that you would want to see again? I guess, like, it worked for them, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But also, I guess with the sort of focus being on taking out some of the strong supports, it does feel like vanguards. Yeah, you have Magneto and Emma Frost that seem to be ahead of the pack, but Captain America feels really good. Groot still feels strong in the right hands. It's just that Wolverine is also very popular. It's really only the Thing that's sort of fallen out of play, and Thor is sort of
probably
in and out, I
Clintar.
suppose,
I think that's the only other option.
Also, as a reminder for people, there is a patch today. We are on the old patch for this part of the tournament. I would imagine for playoffs, we would also go to, you know, the 235 HP Moonknight and the more expensive ultimate from Storm. That is not going to be in play today, so just throwing it out there so people know to not expect a Moonknight meta with his extra 25 HP. But yeah, I guess the question before, Moxie, like, would you want L9 to stick to their guns here?
I think so. I think if you're Lone9, like the thing about
Expands.
Lone9's Vanguard lineup is that they're very flexible.
I'm a Mag
Likes
ban.
playing the Cap, likes playing the Venom. Like, if they get full meta,
Mag is
they're gonna
banned
be
for
happy that they
them.
get full meta. If they don't get full
Emma
meta,
ban, Emma
it's fine.
save.
They've got workarounds. In terms
Standard.
of the Vanguard lineup,
I think we just mirror.
have things like the Loki on that strategist lineup as Schmungus going to be removing the
Nope.
Emma from
Don't
playing
mirror.
Lone9.
Go for the
There
Loki.
it is.
That's fine.
They're going to be banning the Loki and probably
Prefer
saving it,
mirrors,
so they get
though.
one-sided Loki right now.
This is pretty
Here,
big.
Schmunga is probably thinking again, like, what, really? So Magneto
That is
seems
like
the
insane,
obvious
by the
one.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be a save for quite some time. But now that you've played a couple of rounds against this team, like Schmungus, what else is causing you issues? Would you even consider taking out the Punisher at this rate, or does it feel like Crisis will just rotate to something else like the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, Winter Soldier is definitely still something that you're worried about, especially if Schmungus are playing Dive. It should be noted, however, that Rixichu has been subbed in and Necros has been taken out. So already Lone are coming in with a little bit less information on what potentially Schmungus want to be running when those spawn doors open, as Lone are actually going to be banning out that Venom. So Andrew is going to be removed, and I like this. This is the Captain America save that I was hoping to see come through from Low 9. Saint Tomoto is going to be able to pick that one up, as Schmungus
That's a
like
big save.
late targeting out
The
the
Cap
Captain
lunch,
America.
apparently.
So instead, they're going
We're
to
very
ban
good at
out
Captain
the
America.
next best target, that's Psylocke, allowing the cap through but denying the follow-up damage.
Hey, you got the Luna
Pretty good bans.
saved on the side of
Brawl.
Schmungus, which I guess if you're
It's unfortunate that
Loki
you
on the
lo-
side of Low 9, you're
Loki,
you're
but
lucky.
having
It's a
Luna
fantastic
is fine.
ultimate to be able to copy, and you also
Play
get
Luna
saved as
Invis,
Captain America.
probably,
Which
and
does
we
feel
can
like,
get
again,
flyer
like,
into
there's
the.
not too much pressure put onto Low 9.
I don't know if they have a good
putting
game
onto
player on
Schmungus,
L.
sorry, when it comes to that support backline. You do have to
Fun.
worry about the fact that there has been that substitution. Necros, a fantastic
Actually,
player.
not having
Maybe not
Loki
connected
on
when it comes to the
Clintar is
characters
kind
that
of
he's
bad.
predominantly used to playing. It might also mean if Rixichu's going to lock in the Ultron, that Craggy is freed up to play the likes of Punisher as well.
Yeah, Craggy can play either the Punisher, potentially the Star-Lord. Maybe we get to see the Scarlet Witch Dark Sorcery team up come through. Schmungus have liked to run that composition
Hey,
on Symbiotic
Necros
surfaces,
isn't
so we're gonna
playing.
look to see what Low 9 on their defense is going to be opting for. What other thing that Rixichu can potentially come on through is play hit scan. If they're anticipating that Low 9 are going to be going for Torch,
They did a sub.
just the way that they did
What?
on their mid-time push, then the Hela coming to the mix is going to complicate things for the Flyers significantly, especially if the Hela is starting on defense, which means off angle already developed and potential pocket coming on through from something like an Invis, so your Hela can just play nice and safe behind a Guardian Shield in that first fight, and that Flyer never makes it off the ground.
Yeah, so this feels almost strategic as opposed to, oh, we lost Necros, you're off the team, you're benched. It really does feel like we just want to get more hit scan because of the aerial threats that are coming in, and they're on the money. Jerky is going to be over on a Human Torch. Crisis over on the Punisher. Standard sort of setup, but a scary lineup when it comes to the heroes available for Low 9
Good setup
on
though.
this defense.
Only top.
Yeah, Low 9 on this defense going to be
For,
on
T-
that high ground. To have to be careful though that they don't play too split.
I like
One
this
person
play.
isolated makes a very tasty teleport to target, which is why they're all going to be stacking on up. They've been able to scout out the Stranger's animation. The Schmungus are going to be trying for a teleport grab
Play.
play, and they don't find
Instant pick on
anything
the
until
Loki, that's a very
Naragowski
good
actually
pick, yeah.
goes down. Regeneration to
That's
move
the
was
power
not
of
able to
Strange on
finish.
Clintar
Three
when you
kills
hold
from
top
JG,
left.
who picks up 26%
Because I banned
charge
Strange.
from one pierce ability alone.
Very easy to
At least no
fit
point
in a
for a draw
second.
on this point. You've made some good progression. Jerky, suppressive fire more than anything. Wolf, a very quick tenure over on the group to switch over to the Doctor Strange Flower Portal to try and contest this.
Very good
But
comp on the
Schmungus,
side of
much like
Schmungus.
they did over against OGC, looking
Thought
to
out.
take this first point very quickly.
A lot of damage though,
Full-range
Crisis.
Wolverine in the hands
Fair.
of Craggy. He's got the freedom to do as Rixichu's going to be up in the sky as the Star-Lord. And Crisis again,
I mean, to be fair, they got 2
suppressive
ticks,
fire,
which is
holding
pretty good.
things
Looks like
down,
they're
and
doing a
Schmungus
map
actually having
map
to
flip, which is pretty good. But you're
just
map
for a
flipping
moment
into a
at the
torch,
very
which
least,
is
as they don't quite have the damage
little
to go
scary.
through.
They do have a strategist.
Doing a
They'll
ton of
keep trying to
damage.
contest if they want to use it though. Invis Boundary is up for Deadsley.
Oh.
Whether or not they'll get the space to do it,
They
I'm not
isolated
sure.
Luna,
Gets frozen.
but Luna is
Unfortunately,
still alive
doesn't
somehow.
manage to find the pick. However, Saint
Wait, they
Troy comes out
C9'd.
with Peeler's final judgment with
What?
that Loki regeneration domain.
They
comes
C9'd,
off
bro.
of the point though, Ryan. Everyone from Humongous just decided, okay, we've got Invis Boundary. You might
What?
find the picks through it, but we've got the point.
It's the royal wave of Schmungus are just walking away on this giant
C9'd.
symbiotic thing. I don't even have the words.
I
to
mean,
describe it,
this
but
is a good
regardless,
play here.
Carolina
Instantly
wins
taking
the
this high ground
fight
spot
to
here is very
starts on
good.
its merry way.
You want to be doing on
Just
Clintar
have
when
to
you
use
wipe
the final
first
judgment
point
as
and
well.
they come
You
here.
do have some really good ultimates if you're
This
low
is
nine.
the power
You've almost
spot.
got the freedom charge
Need
too,
to
and
instantly
deny by
take.
Remoto. But still, you're going to be maybe a bit frustrated.
One way
with these
to
truck
go around this
performances
is
they
either
did.
you can go across this bridge here, or you can go all the way on the far right up to the top and break that as well. But Human Torch does create a lot of pressure in space because a lot of damage outputting. So what Schmuggus could be doing is rotating around on the backside and going on the backside, wrapping around and going back up top to like fight him again. Good Eye of Agamotto. Down. Probably. Yep. So very good.
And Jerky, the crossfire coming on through between the Torch and the Punisher. Catch the disengaging players from Schmungus and make up a little bit of time, but they have to make sure that they're able to disengage clearly.
Very good. Very good wolf ult. Very good invis ult though. That was a very nice play, but we invis ult to save. That was like a very good play. It's unfortunate that we had to invis up though. Otherwise that play would have been so good.
But that's one to definitely watch back. That seemed that Craggy was able to find
that play was like actually so good, but it's unfortunate.
But not quite enough to get any eliminations on your side.
Pineclone, what you need to do as an invis once you've got boundary is not get caught by the last stand, and that's exactly what he's able to do. Strange teleport comes on through from Schmungus, avoiding the poke coming on out from Jerky and Crisis, but Jerky does have another supernova. Ogre's got the Eye of Agamotto. Low 9 keeping up the pressure on the Strange, but he doesn't have the confidence to use it. Pineclone, can we find the
Good Eye.
No, but we've got the regeneration domain. The copies have to be broken before
Didn't go down though. Probably. Yeah, he does go down. Seems like Schmungus needs a little bit more practice on this map. Very good stagger on Andrew again. That's a big chunk of time gone for them too. 12 seconds.
Free reign up until this point potentially as Craggy switched over to the Punisher, so a little bit more hits.
With the Punisher?
Really
I mean, it's okay, like
Crisis,
going for a secondary hit scan, but into one flare. And to burn the Strange shield and the Cap shield, but this is what I'm talking about. Is a good rotate. You go on the outside, you can walk up, you shoot this so it covers you, then you shoot the other one so it covers you, then you go around, go up the stairs, fight them on high ground, but you're in a super small choke against Torch. That's the issue that they're running into. They might be okay here because actually the ult economy is kind of insane for L9. That was really good isolation picks on them.
Supernova is in the most.
We're kind of just getting farmed now.
We said that everything was just holding on. There was the thing that broke the camel's back for Schmungus. There's just 45 seconds left to keep things moving, and it feels like it's been a good few minutes before any progression has been made for Schmungus thus far. Crisis halfway to another ultimate. He has been absurdly strong, and now when you've got a lot more freedom of the Loki to support Sintomoto and the Captain America, it's gonna be hard for Schmungus to get things going again. Out of the fire into the
I'm just watching 2 games.
Denied any space to potentially counterplay Crisis on this Punisher turret. Rixie choose even over to the Ultron, still gonna have a lot of duelist potential, but also sustain. Final Judgment comes through from Crisis yet again, kept safe by the regeneration domain from his Loki. Gonski even was able to find the God of Mischief to copy the invis boundary. Crisis is able to use the shotgun to avoid the silence coming on through from the psionic seduction. Pineclone's got his own actual invis boundary, and Schmungus are out of ultimates. They're out of bodies. They're going to be out of time as well, as Low 9 managed to slam the door on Schmungus's approach. Point B, halfway through, barely, is as far as the team makes it.
With the first point going fairly quickly in favor of Schmungus, the way that ended is going to feel a little bit scary at this rate. Tournament life on the line, and Pineclone on this invisible woman has made so much happen off the back of these invisible boundaries, really just taking some of the impact away from Schmungus overall. Craggy, whether it's the Final Judgment, Whether it's the Galactic Legend, the Rixitude that was playing over on Star-Lord, it felt that
Yeah, if you don't know, a new video just dropped if you want to go check it out.
Now that they're defending, Low9 don't have too much pressure to get on the map, but Schmungus have also had pretty good holds over on Symbiotic Showdown. It'd have to be a hell of a one to win out here.
They need to be able to find a pick onto Jerky or Crisis, because these
Pretty good though. I mean,
duelists getting to stay alive at the same time is a situation that Schmungus just
I mean,
can't deal with.
this map
If
with
they can
Torch
find
is
one,
so
then
hard
they
to
can literally
fight.
turn their attention to the other, but at the same
Like a
time,
comp
if they're
issue,
looking
I
at
would
the
say.
function, the Torch is still up, the Torch is getting more value.
They were
And
playing it
Rise and Forest
smart,
and Low9 did
but
such a good
it's just the
job
amount of raw
putting
damage
their
that they have to
resources
deal with
into
is
that Punisher,
impossible.
utilizing Jerky's Pyro Prison up times as well when the Punisher turret was in play, so that all of the shields
Going for a
being
portal
stacked in
play?
front of that Punisher turret don't get broken.
That's
because
okay.
no one can peek it without taking that chunk damage coming on through from the Pyro Prison. Oh no.
Oh, we're going
Wolfgang
for-
sets up the counter portal. Does he manage?
Well,
Catch Focus been able to find 4 people off
We
the
get him?
map before.
yeah.
From the side of Low9 Falls Pro.
No, we don't get
They're
him.
able to get through, and the play is one that we've actually seen from L9 before. over
Unfortunate.
Central Park.
It was a good play.
The doorway, a turret to set up from Crisis to hopefully have a good run of this. I think they were actually on the offensive side of this beforehand, on the receiving end. And now Craggy being able to have a bit more freedom with the characters that he's playing now that Necros is on the sideline and Rixitude's coming in to make that triple support with the Ultron work just a little bit more.
Crisis, slowly but surely taking away shield resources. They feel the confidence to go for an aggressive play. Out comes Regeneration Domain. Moves forward to take pressure onto the Strange. Moves backward to make sure that the Punisher doesn't get traded. But Saint Moto
They're doing a pretty good job here stabilizing.
It's now not clear for go. And it is going to be Low9 having to back on off. The Torch making sure with the
Not doing too bad.
that Schmungus don't get to chase for more.
These resets are going to be something that Schmungus are hungry for.
Not doing too
Also,
bad,
they
too
are
bad.
Sticking bodies on the point, just trying to hold things down. Rage of Ultron is going to be the opening ultimate for this fight. This defensive side, it feels like. And really, it's just Low9 holding things out. They're not too concerned about it, just waiting out the storm to an extent, as they're not too far away from having that invisible boundary and the combination of a Loki ultimate. Final judgment for Crisis going to be the thing that starts off this attack.
Yeah, they weren't able to stop Low9 from building up those ultimates, nor was Rage of Ultron able to give them the space to build something to counterplay the final judgment. Not when Gonski was able to get the copy onto the Lunar Snow. Fate of both worlds, 40% damage boost.
I mean,
every single shot coming on through
that's
from
the big thing
Punisher's
with
side, and Schmungus crumble. They're going to try and make a play for this high ground hold, but Jerky already on top of it. Same to be said of Saint Moto, just disrupting Schmungus's forces, trying to give them reason to burn an ultimate before we go into where the fight actually matters on the payload.
Ooh, Galactic Legend, the sort of
That's
dancing
the one
to
big
go
thing
back
about
in
that
the
combo.
negative
It just
direction.
deletes.
Sintimoto's the first one's going to go down. Pink Lord, I think, did have the invisible boundary throughout the whole of the beginning of that ultimate from the Star-Lord. Just choosing to use it now, play it down, but still able to hold on. And actually, they are getting this objective moving along. Just passing about 60 meters. Psionic Seduction going to be coming in.
Good Psionic Seduction. That was really good.
And it's a good reset from Schmungus.
Pretty good resets. I mean,
4 minutes to hold on to. There has to be more fights like
I mean the ults are okay. We have Invis. We almost have Loki copy. We have capped ult, so we could either combo again the Luna, like he copies Luna and we go Punisher, or we could be looking at like Captain America and you walk through with a Punisher ult. You could also be playing that way. You could be looking at those two plays, or you could be looking for Eye of Agamotto into Punisher ult type of deal. A lot of things you can be looking at here.
We can already see that Crisis is not getting the confidence to use that Punisher turret, but he has been able to find the poke damage to build up the final judgment.
All are pretty good.
Territory. Out comes the God of Mischief.
True.
On both ends we've got a Luna dancing, but it's a damage boost for
Sorry.
Crisis. And the final judgment
Why are these teams though?
might be the final play Luna needs to unlock for
The fuck?
surface. Schmungus are falling. If this boundary is the thing that they're forced to take cover, and Force Physics comes out from Deadly, just trying to delay a potential regroup, but it's not to be. And Low9 managed
Yeah,
to
true.
see
So much
the
damage.
Schmungus
True.
gone. What a team. What a
He kills the
Punisher,
backline
what
a lot, I heard.
that they're able to find for Crisis.
just the mental
fucking-
resilience for them to stay within
Get outta
this
here.
one. Crisis, a bit of
YouTubers.
just a missing factor in that first
You
domination
win
map that
your
should
ranked
really
matches or
pick
what?
up. But once we moved over to the different objectives, it felt
Are you
again
like,
Humongous, yeah, they were having some
you
really good
lose?
defense, but that final point was taken with still like 3 minutes left on the clock. It would have had to be an absurd hold.
Bro, they
for
benched
Humongous
Necros.
to make that one a
GG.
lot closer on the line. But it does mean that they won't be making it to playoffs. A team that I think
Eliminated.
is- we can't even call the stream team anymore because these guys have been so experienced in playing in Marvel Rivals.
My tanks are the
previous
goats.
games, and
Nice.
they're clearly here to do
By
some
Volca.
damage to win.
You Eternity
They're
now?
Scrimming a couple of hours a week in comparison to other teams that are doing that a day. But still, there's a lot of promise on this team. If they want to put more time in, they can definitely reach the likes of playoffs in the top.
Don't know why everyone complains it's
I have
easy.
Low 9 too. Everyone who's going to be matching up against this team, they're going to be taking notes on this match.
No Necros, no
Also,
win.
Low 9 strategy was a little bit revealed. Gonski with the Loki, one of the first times that we're seeing a team prioritize saving a strategist in the advanced.
What the hell is-
Hey, let's
Loki,
chill.
I need a cold
No
shower.
Necros, no
This Loki
win.
was absolutely paramount to their
Oh,
game plan.
shit.
So much of what they were able to find
stop watching the
was
stream.
off of the back of regeneration damage, or like you
BP.
said,
Oh,
how we
the
doing,
fact that
Ducky?
even though Schmuck
Yeah.
was able to get the one-sided
Have the watch
it
party.
was only one-sided
Watch party at the
winner
watch party at the watch
until
party.
a lot of mischief came through, and then Gonski just had an immediate copy target, and they just had so much healing and so much damage boost. It takes so much confidence. It's a very
Whoa.
scary thing if you're a Luna Snow player trying to use Fate of both
Misplayed a
worlds
lot.
to damage boost your players.
Bro, uploaded 10
Because
minutes.
they made it a couple of patches ago
I'll be sleeping.
that there's a lock time now. You can't just go between damage boost heal, damage boost heal, damage boost heal on your squirrel wheel any further. There's literally a time gate that is attached to each of the effects. So if they're not careful, if they're
Necros
not making
will
sure
win.
that Punisher is being kept up from every single part of healing coming over from that team, when Gonski swaps over to that damage boost, it all falls apart. Crisis with his final judgment gets shredded.
Oh, wait, that was it? What the
but
fuck?
They do such a good
Yeah, that
job
was-
of
that was
making
They got
sure
two-
his
two
health just
ones.
does not drop in those really
this-
crucial moments.
I'm assuming
It was
they have
a hell of a
lowers,
series
right?
for
Or are they
Low
out?
Nine.
No, they're out.
I 100%
Oh,
agree with
lol.
the point of just maybe what they've shown might
Her eyes
be
are really
counted
big.
before, but it's not going to matter too much at least for the rest of this week. We'll play it this evening.
Thanks for
Sorry.
that, Chris.
I'd be really-
We weren't sort of
Okay, I
thinking about the
over-wrinkled
sense
my
of
brain.
Avoiding Virtus Pro. But
Oh,
that
no,
would have been a
Chris.
case of Virtus Pro if they had gone for 2-0. Before we go any further looking into
Sorry.
that series, we do
I'm
have an
speaking out of
interview
pocket
from
now.
Low 9, and I'd missed who it was.
I just
we're
wasn't
talking
expecting
to. We're
it.
about to see in a second, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. But I mean, Moxie was a fantastic show
Whoa.
from them overall. Full stop.
Yes, it absolutely was. And hello, Jerky.
Hello,
Congratulations on the win. Give us a little bit of a rundown on that last map, because Ryan and I, like, we've seen so many games in EMEA
What they
where
say.
Vanguards have been the thing that everyone has saved in that first insta-save slot, and you opted for the Loki without revealing too many secrets, without revealing all of the source. Why did you guys prioritize the Loki over a Vanguard save?
Well, I think our Vanguards have the advantage where they're really versatile and they can play everything, and I don't think our team is necessarily made up because of our Vanguards. I think we're mostly made up because we're just a really good team, right? So we don't need a Mag, for example, or we don't need a Emma, for example. I think we just prioritize what's our comfort pick and we just roll with that.
Yeah, I think. Do you feel like it's a bit of a misplay from other teams then, that are also like being in the scene a while, very flexible on the characters that they play, to be sort of putting so much pressure into getting either Emma Frost or Magneto first? Because there's a lot of, like, Saint Tomota's a fantastic like Vanguard, especially with his like Captain America being able to put focus on that. Do you think it's like a misplay that people are focusing too much on taking out the strong Vanguards when the supports are the ones that have definitely been focused the most?
Well, personally, I just think that a lot of other compositions work for a lot of other teams, right? There's obviously the res comp, I'm not sure for the exact name, but there's a res comp where there's an Adam, Mantis, and whatever, and we don't play that, right? And some teams might prioritize that, some teams might prioritize the Mag, some teams might prioritize the Emma, so I think it's just preference, and I think a lot of really good compositions work with a lot of different teams, so at the end of the day, it's just preference.
And is it preference the reason why you're running the torch? Because when those patch notes came through, everyone might maybe have overreacted and said, okay, torch is just gutted. Is there a reason why you think that torch is still strong?
Well, I think the torch last patch was just really strong, and he was just completely overtuned. But now he is kind of on a middle ground where he does work with a lot of comms but also doesn't work in others. So I think he's in a really good state right now where he works sometimes but not always. So I think he's a really good character right now. He works in a lot of compositions, but also, without being too arrogant, I think the enemy team just had the human candle Necros. So yeah, I think that's why I picked the torch there.
I mean, you gotta assert yourself whatever you can, I guess, but it does mean that you sort of go on further into the tournament. You've had full free mappers as well all the way through this tournament so far. Like, it was a loss against All Business, it was win against Blood Cariudo. What did you take from that first loss against All Business? That's a hard game because we haven't seen them play for a bit. They've progressed. We're going to see them a little bit later on today. Like, what have you taken from last week into this week when it comes to your own performance? Is it looking at the draft? Is it going, wait, let's put more stock onto getting our support players onto their strong picks because our Vanguard's better? Like, certain maps. What has been the focus of this week that has led to you getting to this spot?
Well, without revealing too much, I think we're a team that's new, so we didn't have a lot of time to practice and to really test out those bans. So getting into this tournament, we didn't really know what to ban exactly. We were just kind of playing off of our experience and whatever. But now that we actually got some practice in and scrimmed quite a lot, I think we maybe not perfected the bans, but definitely improved them. So I think the draft is going to be way different against All Business, and I think it will go in our favor this time. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jokey. Once again, congratulations on your win. We'll let you get back to the rest of your day.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
I hope the rest of his day is watching the rest of the games that are happening, to be fair, Moxie, because not only are you looking at potential opponents, I think it is like the next game, or one of the games today is going to be their opponent for tomorrow when they're sort of playing for that top 4 position in their groups. But obviously, like I said, it is seeding at this point. But before we go and look at the Virtus Pro going up against Yon Kanda shortly after this, I do want to remind people, if you haven't got all of this set up, that we do have drops here for Ignite that are going on.
Drops, big drops.
It's very standard. You literally, all you need to do is just have us on your screen, watch some of the games. You probably have already earned up to the nameplate at this one because this was a fairly exciting series, Moxie. And I'd say by the end of the day, you could very easily have this Willa Galactic costume alongside, because we've got Americas later on too, and China started, the Asia region. And I'd say by the end of the day, have the Asia region. Reason to be watching this, all your favorite co-streamers.
Yes, I mean,
What the hell?
Marvel Rivals Ignite, the action just does not stop. Like you said, by the end of the day, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of those drops already at 100% because we've got Yon Kanda versus Virtus Pro, game number 2 after this break.
Unlucky. This is out. However, VP is still in, so we watch VP. Match big.
Remember the dust, the lights gripping tightly, trapping all those fighting souls. But yet, across the world, I see you standing in my way. And remember the time, the place we used to fight, like the sun and moon. And I wonder if ever there was a time that we were friends. The night has fallen, shadows looming, and yes, that time has come for me to seek you out. We are set now for our last reunion. Break the chains, find your way, come find me. Do you remember who you really are? Show me that you are still the only one for me. I'll be waiting for you. Blink and open your eyes, raising up your fist and smashing through time walls.
Big.
Before the rift splinters again, we are rebels till the end. Rise and open your minds, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals till the end of time. We will flash no matter where. We will fight, reaching across time and space. 'Cause you are my destiny to the end. Flash no matter where. Cross time. See the dawn, the flames burning brightly, shining on those memories. And yes, across all time I see you turning the tides. And do you see now our time, our turn? We can still fight like the wind and fire. And wonder no more that now is the only time your heart is mine. Light has fallen, dark
I love the music.
we fight for our destiny and fate. New days smiling for the past and future. Break those chains, lead the way, fight with me. And when you wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fist and smashing through time walls. Before the rift splinters again, we are rebels till the end. Rise and open your minds, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals again until the end of time.
But they have not changed this music since the launch of the game. Actually, insane.
Show me that you are still the only one that matters for me. I'll be waiting for you. Wait up, open your hands, holding on to your heart. Look inside you. Can you feel?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Marvel Rivals Ignite EMEA. And Ryan,
Oh, but
Virtus Pro in the lower bracket is not a sentence that I think myself or you could ever have estimated that we would find ourselves saying. Yet here we find ourselves, Virtus Pro versus Yoinkanda. One of these teams will be able to find the victory and continue in this tournament without having to go through the qualifiers again. And one of these teams will have to traverse those qualifiers again. Who do we think it's going to be?
It's a tricky one. I think the fact that like Virtus Pro, it's inevitable that they were going to lose a series, right? It felt that some of those series were getting a lot closer. It did feel that the way that the Ignite sort of tournament is set up in the sense of not being forced onto domination maps would suit Virtus Pro, because that's the one where they take the most damage. But it is more like, okay, now that you've lost, how do you react from here? Because some teams will just go, it was bound to happen, let's just go next. But it means that the honeymoon era is potentially ended, and it would be an absolute disaster for them once we get into these big, like $3 million prize pool tournaments total for Ignite. If we don't see Virtus Pro in the playoffs for stage 1, not at the mid-season finals, and have to go through the qualifiers again if they lose this game. With these players, you sort of have that experience and knowledge to go on and push through. It does feel that with the draft difference that has come in, we haven't seen the likes of Saipe be able to play on like his strongest characters. He's been put on the back burner a little bit more, and it just feels Virtus Pro a little bit late to deal with what meta has transpired before us.
Yeah, Virtus Pro, by far one of, if not the strongest teams in the world, has been the definition that has been attached to this team ever since Season 0 of Marvel Rivals Esports. So it is a huge surprise, as we can see here. This was their matchup against Team Rider, match that they did go on to lose, but they had some really shining moments.
Locked in right now.
On this torch was an absolute standout. Nevix is one of, if not the strongest groups in the world, potentially matched only by Black Sow coming on through. So they have so much pedigree, like you said, a lot of stories, a lot of experience. However, so too does Yoinkanda, and like I said, Nevix's group, incredibly strong, potentially world best, but this one player is probably the closest, if not the one that surpasses him. So I cannot wait to see a Nevix versus Black Sow.
Yeah, Yoinkanda, maybe not too surprising that they were sort of in the stage of the tournament. It was a very easy win, I'd say, over Dusty, going into that elimination bracket after losing their first series. But you look at the players and you can't necessarily neglect the experience that they had, but majority of them representing Fnatic at the last Invitational. You have some players like Melio and Line Pro going in different directions, and then Etsu, that I think used to be on the LG squad, moving over. So the actual players that they have on this team are pretty well tenured. Granted that it's not been a very long and laborious scene for the Marvel Rivals esports scene. So there is a chance that Yoinkanda could do damage here. They're probably just a little bit frustrated of like, why did we have to get Virtus Pro? How would they?
Is this a hot dog with toothpaste, bro?
A little bit more straightforward for us.
What the hell?
To do the unthinkable, it feels like.
The toothpaste hot dog, bro.
One thing that could be the difference maker in this match as well is one of the heroes that we've started to see more and more. Very much the star of the show in the Ignite EMEA, and not just the EMEA, but also a lot of other regions too. It's Cloak and Dagger appreciation time. It's Terror Cape exclamation time too, because this one ability has been breaking health pools since the beginning of this tournament, and it's on a 12-second cooldown, which is absolutely mind-boggling. Terror Cape is an ability that travels 25 meters, and if it catches onto you, you get blinded, which is obscure vision for a 10-meter radius for 1.5 seconds. However, the true lethality to this cooldown is the vulnerability that it applies. Target takes 28% increased damage for 3 seconds from all sources, and it is something that Rad Esports were able to utilize against Virtus Pro again and again and again. Fate's Terror Cape applications were some of the best we have seen, and one of the up-and-coming stars that we're really getting to see in the EMEA region is Vertigo for Yoinkanda, who loves playing the Cloak and Dagger. So that one is either going to be banned out, or Virtus Pro are going to have to find a way to work around the Cloak and Dagger.
And it also feels that when you have less of the Lunar Snow, the less of the Loki copy, and some of these like big support ultimates, Eternal Bond is very good for that, just being able to out-sustain a huge amount of damage that's been thrown at you. But because you don't have like the Lunar Snow ultimate that also will provide damage boost and elements, and a lot of Magneto is banned out too, so you don't have the Meteor M that could just squash somebody very quickly, regardless of how much healing that they're getting. It does feel that just there's a lot more freedom. It is, I suppose, odd that people have only realized its impact now, but I guess that's it. When there's so much money on the line, now every little ability, if it brings any form of like shred, I suppose, as you would call it in other games, to just remove some of the resistance and do more damage than flat out, means that Virtus Pro bit in the backside by it in the last series against Rad, which they lost pretty heavily. Not quite going to be banning it out first, but you'd imagine it'd be on the list.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be seeing either a ban or immediate just locking in terms of those compositions coming on through. Emma is going to be locked for the side of Yoinkanda, so Virtus Pro are not going to be able to ban that one out. What they can ban out is the Luna, which is likely going to go first, that Yoinkanda don't get their hands on a super bolstered up Psylocke. Now we get to see what Virtus Pro are going to decide to save. This might be where we see the Magneto. Well, yeah, it is going to be where we see the Magneto. They they might feel comfortable leaving the Cloak and Dagger up for grabs now that they have that Magneto confirmed, so that they can use the Meteorite, the one-shot potential to try and shut down the Cloak and Dagger mid-Eternal Bond dash.
One thing that we have been hearing through the grapevine is that Virtus.pro, like we mentioned, it was the first time that they lost the series last week, but they have been dropping maps in various tournaments, and they have been dropping scrims. But this is a team that tries to sort of bite back if they go through a bad period. They tend to sort of really come together and improve. The lock of the Cloak and Dagger seems to be the improvement that you would expect them to be making. Are there any other characters that would even be considered at this rate, or do you think Virtus.pro like?
Are these
yeah,
people
we're
gonna
not sure we
play?
get that at least.
Yeah, I feel like you want, if you're Virtus.pro, to take the Cloak and Dagger. Immediately, Young Kandra's going to ban out the
I don't know.
They have
They're gonna
preferred banning out the Cloak and Dagger, although then again, if Invis is on the table, Fire's Torch is going to get absolutely bolstered on up with the Guardian Shield and also the team-up ability giving him additional armor. But with VP protecting the Cloak and Dagger, it means that if Young Kanda go for a save of the Cloak and Dagger themselves, we're going to be seeing that both of these teams have that same win condition. They're going to be both being able to have that Terror Cape up and running, but no, Young Kanda are actually going to protect the Wolverine, which means that Virtus.pro here take the Cloak and Dagger instantly out. There's the adaptation that I was expecting. They saw it against Rat. They want nothing to do with it.
So I guess the question really is like, Young Kanda leaning into this meta. You would have almost assumed that like, okay, the team that just played them beat them, and they did it by going for basically
What am I
the same
looking
draft
at right now?
twice. Let's just copy that draft. Let's see if we can like find the answers. But it does feel like, even from the picks alone, the Virtus.pro have like really done some soul searching to work out exactly where they went wrong. Young Kanda, not to say that they don't understand what or even looked into it too much. They're just not really that fussed about the Cloak and Dagger.
Well, the Wolverine can, just in the same vein as you use Feral Grab to just get everybody out of the
looking
Invis
at
boundary, or Lost and 2. You can do that with Eternal Bond. It's an AoE that you have to be able to stand in. It's not based around the Cloak and Dagger's location. It's set on that ground. If you move them out of it, they're not getting that healing per second. So that can act as a counter agent there. The Wolverine's also going to be able to put pressure on potential duelist picks like the group coming on through if we do see Navix try and go for that one, which might allow Black Sao to come in through with the lead on the Vanguard. 1 versus 1, but we'll have to wait and see as Virtus.pro with that Cloak and Dagger are definitely going to be doing a lot of significant damage outbursts. Their burst cycles are going to be immensely stronger than Young Kanda's if Young Kanda aren't comfortable, as Vertigo on that Jeff is going to just speed everybody out of the spawn before swapping on over to the Mantis. Virtus.pro in the meantime utilizing Finzi's Doctor Strange portal, not just to set
Very
up
good
an
isolation.
insta into the fight, but also scatter the comp they're against.
Fi's already found
I mean,
onto Snaze.
why did we
Triple
come?
support lineup for
Wait,
Sparkers, just
have a Widow
the amount
Mantis.
of damage Soulbound used
Psylocke.
pretty early in the fight, as Young
Why?
Kanda really not looking to make this fight any longer themselves. It's an awkward disengage, just picking apart Captain America, Psylocke just trying to get out of dodge, but Etsu unfortunately taken out. Virtus.pro have had a very easy time of this, and just as we were talking like it's the beginning of the end for this team as they lost their first series, feels that they bounced back, and we're seeing some Black Widow, which is not afraid to pull out.
I don't know if Young Kanda misread the composition they were up against, because this screams to me that they were thinking they were going to be up against Torch. Taking a Black Widow with a Mantis means that you have the one-shot potential, but not if you have to be able to break for double shield of Doctor Strange and Magneto at the same time. Monk Mother's shots are buying a little bit of space. Virtus.pro have to make sure that they don't ego peek into them. But
I don't get the
everyone
Widow.
just anchors up on point, utilizes the natural cover of the scenery to avoid the Widow, and off of the back of that, where's Young Kanda's in? Maybe it's the Cap, maybe it's the Psylocke, but they're so separated at the moment that they're not finding
Widow into
any
Captain America's
engagement in.
cannons.
At least Black's
Hitting.
found the opening there, just as I say it. That 5v6
Oh, you're playing Widow into double shield?
4v3,
Kind of weird.
clearing out things very easily for Young Kanda, who haven't really had a look in at the objective full stop. Ultimates have been pretty slow to charge for Virtus.pro, I'd say, for the most part, because there hasn't really been much damage to do.
Well, Dridder was getting all of the healing, immediately has Eternal Bond, and then Sparkets here. You don't really prioritize the Atom here for the Karmic Revival. You prioritize the Cloak poke pressure to be able to keep Moonknight off of these angles and also dispatch damage towards either Etsu or Blacks if they try and jump in. If the dive is committed, Virtus.pro have so many tools of dealing with it. Soulbond from the Adams, Sleep from Saipei, just even a heal boost coming on through from Dridro. Etsu is finally able to take down the Adam, but Spark is going to be able to self-revive. And Fire coming on through with the Blaster
Like,
barrage.
surely,
They
like,
just
we
collapse
swap
onto
off a Widow
Young
because
Canada
it's not getting any value, right?
Comes on out. Snays with the silent
Eventually.
seduction, trying to buy any space that they can for Young Canada to get onto this point, but it is for naught as Sparker back in the mix without revisiting spawn room is just absolutely dispatching player after player.
Very straightforward fight for Virtus.pro so far. Yoinkanda, no progression on the objective on the Eldritch Monument. Moving over to the airfield. We were definitely having a conversation of like, okay, yeah, Virtus.pro, you know what I'm going to say. We all know what happened. I've gone over it enough. Like, is it looking that bad that they could completely drop out at this stage in the tournament? Yoinkanda's a good team, but a Virtus.pro in that bad of a stage. Right now, it looks like it's only just a flesh wound, and they've bounced back. Only 2 eliminations gone on to Saipei and Sparker. Means that the Kamek Revival really can be just sat on for as long as possible because it really hasn't been needed. Now they have it.
Oh, they ran Widow. Kind of bad.
Yeah.
So many players from Virtus.pro
It's
have
not good.
visited the spawn room, and even the players that did go down, a lot of them had
At pro level, I don't
So,
think.
yeah,
It really makes sense.
rumors of their losses might have been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah.
Virtus.pro, as they have had motivation now to try and actually really improve and lean into this new meta that's been established. Strange teleport comes on out.
Oh, makes sense.
Virtus.pro claiming his takes on that high ground. Damage boost going on to Fire as well. Yoinkanda, they don't have that Magneto. They don't have Meteor M. Neither do they have Psionic Seduction to be able to shut down Galactic Legend. It's all going to be off of heals coming in through from Priest and Charge, but that's not going to be enough. Monk Mother on that torch is outside of the Captain America's AoE, and Virtus.pro have already found the first pick.
Really good spot from Fire to sort of see that while the Freedom Charge was coming in, the Monk Mother was a little bit isolated on his own, churned down in the fight. And whilst it was looking like Yoinkanda might be able to jump on there first, they're even dedicating ultimates to this still, so hold that thought. Yoinkanda might be able to keep a hold of this one. There's no point progression being made as of yet. It's still just fighting for this spot. Down to the butterfly from Etsu on very low HP. Mostly maybe used to just keep himself alive in this state. The Eye of Agamotto comes in, connects onto Free. The elimination follows from Nevix. This Vanguard duo has been played together so long, they might as well read each other's minds. They do exactly that. Virtus.pro take the point first.
Yeah, Yoinkanda invested the Cosmic Yawn Amplifier too, but the only one saying goodbye are the Yoinkanda players.
Gotta mirror the res comp here. Something.
Sparker has still got the Cosmic Revival, has had no
Surely we
cause of
mirror.
investing it. Virtus.pro can take this next fight, force Yoinkanda into using an ultimate just to bypass these chokes, and then come back with all of their players fully intact. They do have to be careful though, as Blacks and Etsu can both close up the distance of where that Comic Revival is cast. Fai on that Star-Lord is scouting out too, trying to figure out where is this Psylocke? Is my backline going to be safe? There's the Captain America spotted on out. Out comes the Soulbond, out comes the Sleep from Saipei, and Yoinkanda just don't have the confidence. Virtus.pro are the ones to start the fight instead.
And this Eternal Bond is almost pure ego and hubris coming out of Dridro. He has the freedom to do it. There's not going to be one on the other side. And for Virtus.pro, they're looking comfortable. They're looking back into the form that we expect them to be in. And for now, yes, Sparker can sit on his Comet Revival all he wants. Nevix, the Meteor M, has just sat nicely. And Fai moving over to the Star-Lord, something that we've seen him on before, but maybe not as a high priority. As the point starts to switch around on the map, Yoinkanda having a couple of things to work with, I guess, namely the Psionic Seduction.
Yeah, Psionic Seduction is going to be there. Saipei should be able to get the Soul Resurgence online as Yoinkanda go on through aggressively, but the peel is just immense.
Pretty good.
Meteor M,
I mean, it's this res comp.
on top. Fai even with the
Good ult
Galactic
counter.
Legend,
Emma
and
for
still Yoinkanda have not been able to find the picks. It's Sparker instead who takes down the Emma even
for
further with this boundary.
Star-Lord.
Out comes Eye of Agamotto. Finzi's been able to collapse onto so many of their players, stacks them up for fight and knock them down with the Blaster Barrage, and they're going to counter TP Yoinkanda's recontest touch as if Snaze goes for the portal.
Counter TP.
Get taken by Finzi.
What the fuck?
Well, might take some
What?
focus away, but they're going to be able to dive in and get this fight.
What am I watching?
Jan Amplifier put onto the objective, which means if I can pretty much take it straight back out. Finzi finds to burst onto Etsu. The comfort is there, and the elimination still all in blue. Virtus Pro looking very clean so far. The portal just diminishing. The fight's holding on for dear life as the eternal bond from Dredro is just going to keep everybody up, pushing everybody from Yoinkanda back.
Better.
And a complete hold.
Yeah, VP are back. Just random over.
Pro, and zero progression made at all from Yoinkanda.
And it didn't matter for Virtus Pro that they were missing strategist ultimates that could provide sustainability, because they never had to use them.
Yep.
Soul Resurgence never matched wits with Supernova. Dance of the Butterflies was always coming out into an Adam who had Soul Bond, and it is no surprise to me that Dredro
I mean,
takes MVP, Cloak and Dagger.
they just play like Rescomp and they win.
Virtus Pro are making full advantage of it. 13-0-19 read Dredro's statistics. 19,080 healing done. It doesn't matter that Sparker doesn't really provide all that much sustain. It doesn't matter that your Mantis from Saipe is tied to sustainability for her resource when Cloak and Dagger has that much healing potential.
Oh, for sure. Like this sort of Guardians of the Galaxy comp working out really nicely. Everybody looking comfortable. But I think that whilst, yeah, I wouldn't say that Sparker's ultimates were that good, mainly because he didn't use them. We can't have an opinion on them either way. But he had the most like final hits. Which with that right click, we talk sort of about, you know, you talking to me about like the breakpoints being able to eliminate somebody for all of the healing that they're getting. That right click from Adam Warlock can hurt a lot. And I think we did see that pretty much proved with the damage that was done in the end. Despite the fact that the heal, like you said, wasn't needed. The team up was always useful. It was just like the damage output and the eliminations he was able to get.
And the Soul Bond too. The Soul Bond being utilized as a pseudo-ultimate, essentially, whenever Dance of the Butterflies came out from the Psylocke. And it was very hard as well for you and Candice to be able to find the spaces to utilize Dance of the Butterflies whenever they wanted, because Fire on that Starlord was doing such a stellar job of just scouting, of checking. That being said, we'll have to see whether or not map number 2 is going to be just as dominantly sided to Virtus Pro, or if Yoinkanda can pull it back. We'll be back after this break.
Double kill! 가까운 높이 날아올라 내 누워진 밤하늘을 가로질러 Oh yeah, oh yeah 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸는 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch these two games and like go.
소리 높여 노래를 불러
Pretty good games. The first match, if we would go back and watch any, I'd watch this match for review. I mean, VP was literally just a stomp for that first map. But I'd that's what I would do. If you want to learn anything from these matches, you watch the first match. I think your best bet. If you don't know, I have a new video live currently, so if you want to go check it out, definitely recommend it. Very good video.
That Lightning might strike twice against Virtus Pro, but right now it's the weather like is in the UK. Very warm, clear skies, and Yoinkanda sort of melting under the pressure a little bit. We've seen the adjustments needed and required for Virtus Pro after they've gone 24 wins in the official like Ignite Marvel Rivals tournaments, and after that loss, bounced back really nicely. Incredibly dominant display there, Moxie.
Yeah, and I like as well the fact that we're seeing huge changes coming on through to Virtus Pro's compositions, because that was one of the worries, right? Is Virtus Pro one of the teams that everyone thought in Season 0, Season 1, everyone said if there's ever going to be regions meeting each other, Virtus Pro are probably going to be coming out on top. And then the first tournament where regions are potentially going to be up, we know regions are going to be meeting each other, but potentially Virtus Pro doesn't even get to meet other regions because they're in the lower bracket. But no, they come back after a loss against Rad, they bounce back in with a
This is
new
a big one.
composition.
This is the new map.
Shows that they've been investing,
New map.
learning how strong the meta has
New
turned
mappy.
into the Cloak and Dagger favor, as Loki is going to be taken off of the board for Yoinkanda.
Talking.
Yoinkanda will be able to secure themselves Emma as well. Virtus Pro mirroring that as Magneto has already been removed for both sides. Ryan, do you think we're going to see Cloak and Dagger
actually
make
locking for
another
map.
appearance in the ban system now, though?
Potentially. I saw a couple of people like looking through, the watch parties and stuff, see what people were like thinking of that one. And there was a couple
Looking at a
of
mirror?
like,
It's literally just pure mirror.
But we actually we had a discussion about this yesterday, Moxie, where it's like, it's too specific. You have to think about the characters you're taking out and how they either connect via team-ups or just synergize really nicely with other strong characters. So, yeah, it probably is a smart idea to not allow the Cloak and Dagger here.
This is pure mirror.
But I guess like being able to save it here from Virtus Pro is good because you get to protect it, and if you don't get to protect it, it means that either
Hours
Luna
into-
or Loki was left out, so you just grab them instead, right? It's a bit of a pick your poison thing for Yoinkanda.
Do Yoinkanda save the Cloak and Dagger?
Like if you're gonna watch
The
a
last
match,
time they
it's like
prioritized the Wolverine.
what you watch.
And there's the Cloak and Dagger save. Okay, there we go.
Hello?
So yeah,
Yeah,
for
just a
me,
match to
like,
watch. It's
that last round,
thing on the new
Hell's
map. People.
was a little bit strange, pun
Oh, yeah.
fully intended, because the ban system, Yoinkanda were going
Stream
into
that shit, Chris.
anticipating a vastly
I am.
different composition that Virtus Pro were running out. They prioritized the Wolverine. They thought that they would be up against Groot
Tune
coming
in.
up from the side of Virtus Pro, and maybe they wanted the Wolverine for things like the Strange. But either way, the Wolverine, we never really got to see it come into fruition because Virtus Pro were on a composition that just shut down anything that tried to find an isolated target and grab
They're going
them into
res
and
comp
counter
again.
it. The Psylocke, the Captain America, the Wolverine, it all fell to pieces between the poke that came out from the Atom, the
Because of theirs.
CC that comes out from the Mantis, the Soul one so that
I mean,
no damage really bursts through anyone.
res
until
comp
the
is just,
initial
like,
stage of dive,
superior.
which is where dive is
Everything.
at its strongest since you're going
Every
in with
regard,
all of your
especially-
cooldowns. So it's going to be Ariko that we get to go to. We've
Could
seen
be.
this map very rarely as Yoinkanda decide to take
Res
us
comp.
here, one of, in fact,
What do
the
you do?
latest map pool that we're getting to see from Marvel Rivals, which Virtus Pro have been able to full push in the past, but they definitely struggled with on that last point.
Yeah, it was a weird map because the Fire Straits doing the
Oh,
exact
the
same thing
top
here, of
scoreboard,
just
please.
forcing Virtus Pro into the latest map, maybe to just see exactly how they want to be playing this out. But Virtus Pro had a really good where they're able to take fights and have the objective still moving.
Res
or
comp
be on the
with
defense and
Torch.
just maintain the
The
control of this objective. And everybody has to be like cleared. Everybody has to be eliminated full team wide.
Res comp with Torch, I think is-
On this first part though, there is a little bit of
And-
given to the attackers because you have the high ground and that 90-degree angle to play around. But you can already see Virtus Pro being irritated and Sparky yet again finding the
Playing
first pick.
Mantis,
Yeah,
Cloak, and
normally
Dagger.
This first corner is really annoying for the defender side
Strategist,
to take
that's
because
like-
of the flank routes that are active.
not
But
good.
Virtus Pro, Spark is still on this Adam Warlock, is winning the 1v1. He's controlling the lane.
Bro,
behind
this is like
Virtus
terrible.
Pro's
I mean, I guess you have
first
Captain
corner
America
and
for
stopping
self-sustain.
Etsu from finding any
Psylocke
side
can
of
do
the
her own
Psylocke
thing. She can
because
go
the
invisible,
Psylocke
get out
is
harm's
moving to the
way.
Adam Warlock. The Psylocke
Emma
is
Frost
not there
is
to
gonna
take
be the
out
one
the
that's gonna
torch,
be
which is normally the
healing
Psylocke's job.
and
Psylocke normally
Torch.
takes down the flyers. Fi has to be careful
Oh.
that we don't get blitz time
don't know.
Terracate, but instead it's
This
Virtus
comp
Pro who are coming through with the picks.
not look good
Black's
at
hopped
all.
through that teleporter to just fully
This comp
reposition,
looks
but
miserable,
maybe
by the way.
Caught Virtus Pro's attention, forced resources into chasing down the Captain America for the rest of his team to get value, but Sparker now has been taken down to the bait of chasing the Cap.
I mean, it was the only elimination so far I think that Virtus Pro been able to take, but obviously the
Comp is
resurrection
terrible.
for Sparker
I don't know.
means that he's going to be back into the fight.
I don't
fairly
like it at all. It's
Hasn't really been that many. You can count on one hand the eliminations.
Get
that
one.
Canada, maybe even two now. As
I mean, you
Etsy
just
managed to
res
build
the-
up, but it's again onto a Guardian. The team up means that these people are back into the fight for the most part. Eternal Bond is going to make things a little bit more precarious for young Canada as they're trying to get past
Did we
this
do some-
corner. But Monk Butter
I mean, we just-
moving over to the Human Torch, gets onto the Supernova first. With Psionic Seduction trying to find some of these moments yet again. But Virtus Pro are just so good on this map. We've seen so little of it, but they're so good at just being
Why?
irritating. Even if they lose this fight, they're going to buy so much
I
time.
don't know.
Yeah, Sparker said Soul Bond. Monk
Born
Butter
again,
has the
boys.
Supernova
Again, born
after
again.
Dridro's Eternal Bond had expired. They were a little
And they're all
bit reluctant
back.
to try and use it
Wow.
to save Saipei. But Soul Bond just means that
They're
everyone
all back
feels
full
that
HP.
survives the Torch ultimate. Nevix now gets to answer back with the Psionic Seduction. Does get Carbon Crushed by Snaze, but that just means that the Emma's position is static, and Sparker takes the Vanguard down. You would be correct if you mistook the strategist for a duelist with the amount of damage that Sparker's been able to pump into
Comp
the
is
forces of young Candace. They have not been able to find a way of breaking this first corner at all. Blaziken's approaching that Eternal Bond, but Dridro's got one to mirror.
Bro,
Finting
comp
with the
is-
Eye of Agamotto 2 can catch on to all of those players and still have the pick potential.
Yeah,
But
it's
from
so
Mantis,
bad.
Finsey dives into
Why
the
are we
fight.
Mantis
Seems
without
to be
Adam?
lower and lower. Things
Oh.
like going for the pick, but overcommits and Monk Butter
Oh,
punishes.
fee.
This is actually through.
So bad that he
Yeah,
really
what?
took over,
No.
extended a little bit, and
Ah!
that's more than Virtus Pro can chew. Black's able to get a couple of
I mean, they held for a long
eliminations
time.
together, but it's pretty much what Virtus Pro have been consistently strong at.
I think they, yeah, they
Well,
pulled them
really
back in
haven't
match.
lost that many either Convoy or
Management.
Convergence maps,
Yeah.
full stop. And here, 3.5 minutes have been bought, and it's
But
basically
whatever the hot dog man has like.
But then they have MSI, and I think MSI just kills good Mantis anyway.
Yeah, like, every-
From Saipei, ready to go to add a little bit more damage onto this side, and with the Terra Cape, you know how this is going. The drop down with the Eye of Agamotto, able to actually catch onto Vertigo, who just manages to get their
No!
resurgence,
Wow,
soul
why?
resurgence out just in the nick of time. You've got all of the tornadoes and the supernova flying down from
Wait, we
Monk
saw
Butter
Bond Mantis
and a dance
ulted,
to the
really?
butterflies, but I'm not seeing any blue names
Really
in the
sees
kill
both?
feed going down. And even if they would, I was going to say the camera.
Like, I mean, he's very good, but like, I hate
The Sparker goes down.
fashion.
He's not going to be back. He's not going to be able to be resurrected.
So boring.
So it's actually looking like young
Chris, that's your
Canada
teammate,
can
bro.
push this one over the line.
Yeah, Black's out coming on for
Playing
the
torches
hero
is
of
like
the
a commit.
moment. Freedom charge, charging your Canada's A
Yeah,
and letting
he
them
just
push
he
into
just
B
shoot.
now.
He
But
just
this
shoots
time bank,
people. It's like flying
miserable
Punisher.
for this attacker side. They've still got one of the worst points to be able to push, point C, where Virtus Pro are going to have access to the high ground,
watch my-
all of the cover to hide their torch around these corners so that fight just does not get picked. And Monk Butter, the opposite side, he's got to contest with the torch, he's got to contest with Sparker on this Adam. Etsu on this Psylocke is looking for an in, but the protection from Virtus Pro is almost immediate. Saipei
Just
picks
running
the
at them.
Psylocke out, Dridro
Yeah.
Local.
aggressively sends the Eternal Bond so that Virtus Pro can go for more. Limit
I mean, the
space that
Terry
Young
Cape
Canada
is-
have open to them for this next push.
In
And
that
Virtus
doorway
Pro
way,
can
yeah, that's a good
establish
point.
themselves on
I mean,
these angles,
the
making
ability
it
is
so
super,
hard to
like,
be able to
that's the
oust.
only good
But
thing.
Young Canada are going to have to overcommit,
Terry Cape.
overextend into their space,
Yep.
which is going to feed them directly.
I think the
to
fade is- the
angles
fade is
to
pretty good,
LOS of Sparker
think.
and Fi.
A lot of ultimates
Yeah.
been sat on for Virtus Pro, so the seduction.
It's the blind.
Oh. It also gives, like, a-
And he's dead.
and vulnerability.
Yeah, you take 28% more damage if you get hit by it. It's insane. You actually just kind of die.
It's just Virtus Pro biding their time, waiting for your Canada to be a bit more out in the open. And with all of the ultimates that they've been sat on, conserving, they only use
Managed to
the
get
one.
first point.
True, but it was Eternal Bond from Virtus Pro. That being said, Tridor is about to have another
Like-
Eternal Bond. Having
like playing
used
right,
in the
like you're-
fight prior. You're going to have an Eternal Bond of their own.
They just can't do
the
it.
dance of the butterflies, but no, the dance floor is shut down immediately.
how you're supposed to play the map.
It's fucked up as well because the cart is like hasn't gone under.
Yeah,
So-
They capped it. Oh, he's pushing it.
My hero.
It's dead. I need to look at the pick bands
Same
again.
adjustment too. Like I really like the macro,
like
the
Invis
foundations, the fundamentals of Virtus Pro playing with like you're on the high.
No, but these are the Ignite bands. This is the
Ignite
Ignite band system first.
Oh.
Even with Virtus Pro completely split up in that fight because it's so chaotic, they all just culminate.
You
on the
choose for the
objective.
enemy.
You can play off of each other, maintain a little bit of healing, and just really
And
shut down
Mo-
Etsu from going
Magnet.
in for that dive. Like you mentioned, Moxie, that Dance of the Butterflies is available. Grouping up against it is going to be
They can-
important. Supernova going to be used on Virtus Pro.
They can play res comp, they can mirror. They're choosing not to mirror.
The Dance of the Butterfly lapping over each other, but the elimination's not quite cutting in. This Dream Throw is found up yet
Maybe they think they have like enough
seduction. A
captain.
little bit late to shut down some of these ultimates that Virtus Pro being thrown in. But
Well,
if you
I
think
don't see
like the
Psylocke
last
value
point,
in this comp,
John
to be
Campbell
honest.
gets right to the end,
Yeah,
able to have enough sustenance to survive
but
a
still.
little bit longer. But they
Oh,
have to
diff.
push this point up these two slopes all the way to the second point. They're able to sort of do it to an extent as Virtus Pro
Oh,
are
Sparker
forced to
died
back
again?
out. They're
They
leaving
decided to
the
press their
battle.
buttons.
And they don't have the ultimates. Moonknight is going to have
Oh,
to pull
he
the super
got gapped,
super
bro. He
time.
swapped, he got
Virtus
gapped.
Pro, Fire's going back onto the Star-Lord so he can
A
reach
touch.
in faster as well as having
Died.
the iframes on the Stellar shift. You can get aggressively on top of the backline of your Encounter 2 with
Get the ult off. He did get the ult off.
Terror Cape into Star-Lord follow through.
I mean, they got it really far. To be
Absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah. Getting it past first point is like basically half the battle on this map.
Yeah, and getting it up the ramp.
Just sit on the carpet
Yeah.
revival. Don't even need to use it to fully revive the entire
Yeah.
team. They're just picking up key players to make sure that they don't have to
just had to
wait
get
around
ripped.
for Nevix.
I feel like
And
the only
forced
reason
to come
people
back
like
into the mix.
the second point
And
is
they
so
can just
fucked
get
up
so aggressive with
because
fire, Jericho, and
like as soon
Sniper
as you cap first, you just instantly take the
chunking
height.
down your Encounter
Yep.
squishies.
It's okay.
Like,
if
I
we
just
play
want
it.
to listen to the music for a bit.
I also
I like that it feels like
set.
we're setting the stakes. This is really serious.
Run
It's
to
just
diagram.
in the background.
Is Susan YouTube
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
be
the
upset if you
music
swear?
in Marvel Rivals is
Hmm?
amazing. I think by far my
swearing.
favorite score is
Okay.
L7 overtime because all of the different
I was like,
maps
is it
actually
okay if
have
you
their own
swear?
overtime.
I mean, there's some
Episode
words that like
fucked
you
up.
just can't say though.
Listen to those properly. I like the opening to Yggdrasil's
I
path.
remember I
Just the
was-
guitar.
Like
the
R, it starts with R.
grunginess of it.
Yeah.
It feels for your encounter
No.
they need to really
Yes,
pull
YouTube
out
does not like
a hell of
get,
a
like,
solo
instant
here to sort of
demonetized.
bring things down for Virtus Pro. We did see them not finish the map against Fire Strays,
I remember
but like
once
we've been
was
alluding
like
to,
game chat
Moxie,
messages,
it was
told
like
girls
in
to
that
slip it,
final
like, throw it
choke
slow
where you
so
got
I
under the
chat,
ground
said
with the
the F
robots
word,
coming out of the
she
wall.
went over
That's where things can often get
just
stuck.
like reading it.
Virtus Pro don't need to worry about that. They
I
just
got
need to get it pretty
automatically
much to the
bad
end
first word.
of
But
point
you
four.
should always.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Oh, do they manage to get a
Mantis
pick?
Widow?
Mantis damage.
I think it's
boost
good to start off with.
and Black
Yeah,
Widow.
Like I
Just
think they're just looking for.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
pick
yeah.
and
It's like
then-
what you would do in
Right
Overwatch
here,
with
if they
Widow,
get a
like
first pick before your encounter have control
Flop.
of corner,
Fuck
this
off.
Right back
defense
to-
changes
Yeah,
up the
V.
play, but no
And he's off
picks.
already.
Like full res count.
Virtus Pro swap to what they actually want to run out with. Fire onto that Star-Lord. They saw how much
I mean, they're
fire
doing a
they
double
had.
dive.
It's gonna buy so much space too. The encounter are gonna have to back
Cap.
all the
Oh,
way
she-
up when they see that Star-Lord getting
Oh,
a little
you
She
bit
was
can't
on
die
zero.
yet.
She was alive on 0 HP.
What? What?
Yeah,
I saw
wait,
that.
what? Yeah, what?
And that Star-Lord
What?
takes the Psylocke shot.
And the
Every
thing I
health
want
bar
people
isn't in
to
sync
watch
with
if you
the-
haven't watched Virtus Pro play this map so far is just how many times we
Maybe
see
she
that
had, like,
triple
0.5
arrow at the top of the
HP
field.
or
Whilst the
something.
fights from Virtus
These
Pro are
mirror res
happening
comp guys?
like they are now. Look how far ahead they are. That objective is still pretty much moving at full speed. Yonkanda really
gonna,
can't
like,
do too
find
much
out.
about it.
Or we
And
could be
Sparker
being like Winter.
really shining on the other wall. Like we've put so much focus on the
Is
other
Hella out the lobby?
strategists in the game currently.
I don't
that
know.
Adam just wanted to
Probably
make
not.
sure that his name was named,
I don't know if they have a Hello
brought
play.
up, and basically to Rio to don't be rash. Virtus Pro is still back.
Yeah, Pyro Present expires from Moonknight. Virtus Pro move in aggressively with a
Kind of like you
soul
just
bomb.
pop, you
Dribbler
build
is
cloak
gonna
ults,
be able
but
to
you
top
pop it off cool.
with an eternal bond as
Yeah.
well. Into a Terror Cape, and he catches so many first from
What?
Yonkanda. He uses the eternal bond to get past the shields.
Fire.
Oba.
Blocks the damage.
Fire.
Maybe Mantis.
Etsu has no choice but to go for the Dance of the Butterflies.
Hey, why
to
did my
defend
Psylocke
any
just
aggressive
look at my
play
human
that Virtus
torch?
Pro were looking to find Soul Resurgence though from Cypin. All of the bodies being stacked too close to the Psylocke's. She was going to deny any pick.
Oh.
The more players that will fall to the maelstrom that comes afterwards.
Yeah.
It just feels inevitable. That whole like lever of we're so back, it's so over. It's now
That's a
we're
lot
so
of
back
damage.
for Venom.
So I am here
It
now.
saves so many ultimates. It's a really good fight. A fantastic Kayavagamota that comes out of Finzi. You're seeing like Saipe, who sort of said that he was the one that was suffering the most with the focus of strategists in the draft. He's rolling back the years over on the Mantis, making it work.
really-
Blacks trying to just make something happen, not wanting to give up too much space. No,
Comp.
Virtus Pro with 4 minutes.
I know why they did it.
Don't really have
Like, I
all
don't
that
like
far
it.
to travel.
Freedom charge comes into the mix.
Like, it's a double dive, essentially. That's like the whole thought process. But you're playing in the res comp, Emma.
Do you see the Emma seduction level above your head in games? I feel like you don't, right? Oh, you do?
That's why sometimes, like, I mean, I guess, watch my gameplay, like, I kind of, when I'm getting emoted, I always, as much as I can till the very end, and I'll get a piece of cover.
Yeah. That's good.
It's like something to be aware of. It's just like
Pretty much
other
exclusively
things
on the
like,
Star-Lord today, just making the most of the team up with Mantis and Adam, of course.
like
Good
Terry
local,
Cape,
that
people
is so
people
much
would
ways.
change builders.
It's this almost like peel of just being
Yeah.
aggressive, able to
He's just
change
using
what-
like
what to be
the
chased.
cloak
And
of
now
like
this
an
objective is pretty much
principle.
right at the end of its tether with 3 minutes for young Canada to hold.
I mean, you have
Losing
Soulbond,
seasons
you have
over
Rez,
the
you
road.
have Mantism, and you
It's
have
gonna be a contest.
Clogo.
There
Like,
has to be the dance of the
so
butterfly.
much to
Not
stay.
able to be that, of course, but
Pump
with
is
everybody grouped
like
up,
not
the
good.
damage is just negligible, not noticeable. Soul Resurgence is just gonna flip things
It's-
back.
And
Whether the Supernova feels like
It's
it's
res
just a
comp
one-two
into
punch more than
just not
anything.
enough.
You've got the Eternal Bond holding on for young Canada, but they're still
Like,
losing
you could
players.
go
Zetsu's
Hawkeye
down
here,
again,
go
Blacks
Ella,
CC'd out, surviving,
Winter
trying to
Soldier.
disengage over onto
but
five.
like, you put a lot of resources into dive, and then they just come back anyway.
Very selective
Exactly.
with where they're taking
Not
these
a good
fights
comp.
exactly. It's only 8 meters to
Like,
push
in
things
theory, it
on
can be
ahead.
very
Somebody's
good.
taking out one of the backline supports of
It's-
Saipe. It's gonna keep things
Res comp
alive,
is like
but it's
the
still
one thing you
2.5
can't really do it
minutes
into.
or
I mean,
so.
look, everyone's back. Walks up, rises everybody. Game time.
Chris, remember the first game of fucking MRC we played? Where they played Res, and we had like 50 more kills than them, but we still lost because it's Res comp.
I mean, like, literally any team could play res comp. Like, and it will make it work. That's how strong it is. Why is my defending cloak on the bridge by herself over there?
The top dogs are black.
Young Kanda, however, unfortunately not participating any further in stage 1, and if they want to make stage 2, they're going to have to run a little bit more of an in-game gauntlet.
So
to
they
get
are
there,
out.
whichever way that looks. But yeah,
So
the
is
death
Schmungus.
of Virtus Pro greatly exaggerated with how things
They
have played
dropped
today.
Necros, like,
Adapted nicely,
for
2 games
pop-
to club
subbed
Yeah,
him out.
exactly.
MVP.
Bro, they didn't even
It's
get the
probably
content,
an
and they
omen, I
still lost.
suppose, of
I don't know why they
what
subbed him
Virtus
out.
Pro's problem and what
I
exactly
didn't
fixed it.
listen.
I need to see the stats.
I
of
did
the
this.
assists. Yeah, there it is.
Jesus Christ.
So to put this into
48k
perspective,
kills is
during
With
Res
10k
Pro,
damage,
more
bro.
assists than a
Yeah.
Mantis.
As a cloak.
I'm just gonna let that
Oh my
information
god.
just settle. for a couple of seconds
Jesus
to soak
Christ.
in. A
That must be a fun
close
game for
target
Dreedro.
and more assists
I mean, this is
than
like,
a
I
Mantis,
mean,
a Mantis whose job it is to
Actual
keep
infinite
the
heals.
like, people
and if
say
he dies,
Cloak
he
and
gets
Dagger is
res.
like an extremely good strategist. Like,
potentially Sparker as well
I don't
as
think she's
Firewall,
good.
who might as
She's
well,
good
let's
when,
be
like,
honest,
everything else is
have
banned.
been
That's the thing.
another duelist. But Trigger
Essentially.
did such a good
Like,
job.
Luna's banned,
Like,
Loki's banned, so it's gonna be good.
utilizing Eternal Bond can be very tricky for teams to be able to pull off.
Because if you
I
want,
think she's
However,
just
the fact, like,
bad
Canada didn't
because
really
the
have
other
anything that
strategist
could
just
punish.
provides so much
There
more.
was no
I mean, her
Magik
ultimate,
on the
like,
fight, there was no
you
iron
can die
But
to a
also,
billion
yeah.
things.
one-shot potential, which means that
You have
Dreedro,
shot
every
Punisher
single time
shotgun.
Eternal Bond
You
comes
have
out, the goop
headshot
on
Hawkeye,
might be purple,
headshot
but
Widow,
for Trigger, it was just a green
Meteor
line
M.
go,
List
go,
goes on and
go
on.
into aggressive Terror Cape to catch
Wolf
everyone
can ult
from
you out,
Uganda.
which is a
Punisher
big.
could just laser you as well if he has ult.
Wolf can grab you out in comparison to, like, I mean, I guess Luna, you knock up everybody, but
and Mantis.
Yeah, but she doesn't die, though.
which goes to show
I mean, you
yeah,
can
but
knock
she
up
was-
you can knock up everybody inside of it and
It was him that I
like
think
take
when
everybody
this
out
advanced
essentially.
draft system was added in, that he
Although
was
what
like,
happens is though, if Luna gets knocked up, she doesn't get like thrown for the second. She doesn't get thrown, so then yeah, so she's like 10 miles away.
Well, it's like
everything happened since with the draft system.
you'd have to like do it into your team, I guess. I don't know. It's like weird.
But they've got ahead of it. That's how it feels. Now with Virtus Pro, it's a dominant win. Your Inkanda are a solid team. You sort of expect Virtus Pro to be able to bounce
They
back.
played res
But it
comp
does cast a
first
little bit of
map.
a question mark on them
They
across the
didn't
rest of
like
this tournament.
think
Even
they would
going
play it
further
again, I
on into
guess.
this group, if we do see a rematch against Rad, which could easily happen, right? We still could see them in there like
It's weird seeing VP in the lowers though.
what that would look like, and if the likes of Berber Patipim could maybe try and do some damage to Virtus Pro, it's made
No,
this whole
Chris.
tournament feel wide open,
Yeah.
despite the fact that Virtus
My
Pro
glorious
bounced back
stream.
seamlessly after that defeat from last week.
Yeah, what it's also going to do is it's going to shake the meta. A lot of these other teams look to Virtus Pro to see what is being run because Virtus Pro was the strongest team. They were the strongest team across all regions. They weren't even scrimming
But you don't
the
look at
NBA
one
on
team.
the way to the Invitational because they thought, one, they didn't want to reveal the strategies, and two, they thought that it wasn't worth their time. They said so themselves in interviews many, many times. They would only scrim American teams. But now that Virtus Pro have shown how incredibly strong, not just Cloak and Dagger is, but Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, Chris, how do you feel, bro?
combined with Mantis and
Magneto was
Adam
Thanos this
Warlock,
patch, and he
because
doesn't
then
get
you're
banned.
taking Terracape's 28% damage
Again, sorry.
vulnerability for 3 seconds.
How do you feel?
And you're combining that with
Magneto is
Mantis,
Thanos, and he doesn't get banned.
12% damage boost to
Yeah,
come through.
it's very
You
good
send that
patch.
onto something like a Star Wars who has the means of going aggressively in. He's got the mobility.
character's
even
literally been
without that Magneto
character.
with the bubbles, he still has all of the
What,
safe
Mag?
engagement plays because he's got 2 iframes attached to his 2 stellar shifts,
it's a
which
good season
also
to be
act
in
as an
that one, so-
automatic reload to his primary, and all of
problem-
a sudden you're creating an absolute monster.
The reason
And
why
you
he
know
just
what's
never
even
gets banned
crazier,
is like
Ryan? We're not playing
and why he
on
never
the
really
next
gets nerfed.
patch,
It's like
but
he's very
next
much a
patch,
skill
Star
character.
Wars
Yeah.
Like, you give him to like a
His
GM
effective
player,
range has been
or even like a
increased
cell
because, of
player, and
course,
like a fucking
I mean,
eternity
it
player will get
makes
like
it very exciting for
quadruple
five,
or
but
ten
we're actually going to speak
value.
to the
Like,
DPS,
it's-
Adam Warlock
I mean,
himself.
they
It's
talk
also
about
because
a lot
he's a
of
safe
characters,
pick.
Talk to
but-
Sparker, and
Yeah.
Sparker, if you,
He's a
like,
safe
we'll
pick,
start
and so
off
people
with
even
the
people
elephant
he's
in
like
the
people
room.
fail
We
him.
Got the
talked
Sparker
about
interview.
last week. That first series loss against Rad. What went wrong, but also what was your reaction afterwards? It surely was like a we were
Sparker
bound to
interview.
lose at some point. It's better to lose now than say like the grand finals of Ignite, right? We can bounce back.
I mean, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, you gotta lose at some point, right? And if it is for seeding, then who cares, you know?
So, Cloak and Dagger, because we're starting to see that she's an insanely strong strategist in her own right, and she's also now either getting banned or saved. What do you think about the strategist makes her as strong as she is?
I mean, she has like the blind that does so everyone does like 25% more damage to the target. I think that's a big reason of why. And also her ult is really good because you can cover so much area. I think she just has like a good kit, and I mean, people get forced to ban all these other supports, so you usually just end up with Cloak or something like that.
Can you talk to us a little bit about like the Adam Warlock pickup? Because I think there was, we sort of saw like how the draft looked against Rad, like them using and sort of almost exploiting the Cloak and Dagger stuff. I think a lot of people were assuming that you would just sort of take what they did and carbon copy it across and use it today, but it feels like you've sort of taken that and then almost improved upon it, right? By adding in this sort of triple support lineup. You've got the Resurrects as well over on the Kamet Revival, the Ultimates, the team ups and stuff. Like, was that something that you were sitting on beforehand, or was that after that loss to Rad, you all sat down, you talked about what we could do, how we could like influence the draft, and then you realized that this was something to maybe work towards?
Well, we've practiced a lot of comms, so we know how to play everything, and we just play based off bans. So we thought this was the best, and we just picked it.
So, obviously, continuing on now in this tournament, you have the potential of going up against some teams, but also maybe being
What a
able
chat.
to find your way back up against Rad
We
Esports.
practice every single
Do you
comp and we
have
pick what they
anything
ban.
to say to them? Do you think would anything be different if you guys matched up again? say,
Everybody is
next
like
week?
super flexible on their team.
Well, we will
Yeah.
be better prepared for them next time.
Insanely good.
And I do think we had a bad day, so
Yeah, I feel like Virtus Pro
we will
is
do better
pretty-
next time.
I mean, somewhat top of the game, or like good
Sure.
at the game. for
I
a long
mean,
time now.
there's plenty of
Across
teams that have gone down to a
feels like it's
losers
growing,
bracket and
so
then done the run to go and win
probably
the
a big
whole thing.
drag.
So I think if there's a team
I
that
think
we sort of expect to
flexibility
be able
heroes.
to be able to do that, it's probably you guys, Parker. So thank you very much for joining us. Again, congrats for making playoffs. You still got games tomorrow and stuff.
Like in
so
terms of
we'll
like,
let you go, prepare,
I
relax,
think
and we'll see you
duelists
tomorrow.
and strategists having the flexibility to
very
play
much.
either is the big thing. Compared to Vanguards. Vanguards are
But
just
yeah, Moxie, it feels like it's business back to normal for Virtus Pro with how
because
they
you
played
have like
that, and
strategists. They're like do
I think the reaction
Adam
is
Mantis.
the appropriate one. It's easy to almost get a little bit panicked and emotional because the team that never loses lost.
Vanguards, you don't.
but really, Virtus Pro are just like, yeah, and we move on. And like I just said, plenty of teams have done the losers bracket runs to go on and win a whole tournament. So Virtus Pro are capable of that at the very least.
Yeah, just like Iron Man, it very much was inevitable, and I think like it took a lot of pressure off of them as well.
I'll
And
keep
it's
going.
going to be
I don't know
them
who-
moving forward now in
I know
that
that-
lower bracket run.
don't know who's on.
We have to find out who they're going to be up against, though.
I didn't think they had a
Pep versus
Marvel
Wildcats is
Rivals
gonna be
team,
coming through, but
to
that
be
is
honest.
I didn't know you
our
either too.
Next matchup, and next matchup is going to
I wonder if I
be
can find my
very,
fan.
very different.
Is it
It's
just
gonna
like
be
is it like a
Origins
Red
versus
Bulls team? Is that what
OG?
OG is?
So this is going to be one that you
Red
absolutely
Bulls?
tune
I mean, is
in
there
on.
Yeah, I
like
think it is
But
actually.
unfortunately,
Like,
on this symbol? It's literally just Red Bull.
We'll be back with it after this break.
Could be original gangster, you never know.
Shit.
Oh shit, my laundry's done. Bring it back.
Oh. Hey, have anyone you know?
Organization. I mean, I'm just saying because like their logo is literally has a red. I mean, I guess it's a sponsor, but no, they're big and
I think Dota is the big.
Dota?
Is yeah, I think it's Dota.
MLB. That game.
MLBB? What?
EAFC? EA Football Club? Wait, Marvel Rivals isn't even listed on. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. What? Did he literally just like hop in today?
I don't think so.
Remember the dust, the lights gripping tightly, trapping all those fighting souls. But yet, across the world, I see you standing in my way. And remember the time, the place we used to fight, like the sun and moon. And I wonder if ever there was a
Were all business good? I forgot. I forgot.
falling shadows looming. And yes, that time has come for me to seek you out. We are set now for our last reunion. Break the chains.
I know Moose. That's it. Oh.
Moose.
Do you remember who you really are? Show me that you are still the only one for me. I'll be waiting for you. Blink out, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls.
All business.
Winters again, the arrivals will
I don't remember who's on all business. I don't know. Oh, they're an open organization. He said, all business is still looking for a organization. Still playing. I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to lose, really, right?
They're literally just looking
Like you're playing online and shit. Like you don't have to travel. There's no. Really
like
any cost.
jobless bums or whatever. I mean, it's like they're really good.
I mean, they won't be if they beat OG. OG drops their team and picks up the guys who beat them.
They could. 3 million tournament time, Boger said 2 hours ago, 52 minutes ago. Pretty sure Blade is the next character.
Yeah, I heard like his design is like all over the place. Like he has so many
woke.
mechanics.
He woke up allegedly.
Bro, Blade Magic meta.
I want to see what Blade is though. I don't know how, like, what type of character he's gonna.
Way too long to level up.
I heard he has anti-heal in his kit, like for himself, like strange.
God, I'm so glad I don't have my take one.
But does not want to make money on YouTube.
I just started scrolling and then I saw something.
If it's Twitter, I could kind of assume what it is, to be honest.
It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I'm not. I don't search these things. Why does it even appear? It's actually very annoying. It's actually very annoying. I literally have been saying this from like day one. Like, I will literally play Blade when he comes out. Like, my favorite hero. Like, regardless of what he is.
What, in Marvel?
Yep.
That's cool.
Wesley Snipes.
I don't even know what he does in Marvel. I didn't even know he was a character.
Wesley Snipes, bro. Yeah.
Oh shit. Wait, what?
Like an old movie.
Oh, okay.
That old? I don't think it's that old.
Is he a mutant?
No, he's just a guy.
Oh, he's the guy, okay.
Just look it up. Yeah, so just. I really want Blade though. I think. I feel like there's a couple ways you could go. Like, he has like a shotgun katana.
Well, it was business as usual
What?
for Virtus
Yeah,
Pro.
like he has a shotgun and a katana.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Number 3 for the Marvel Rivals Ignite E and
Like, there's already
EW
leaks to
and Moxie.
some of his.
I'm
Like,
joined by
he's
Ryan.
like a vampire hunter.
Ryan, we've had a
Yeah.
very interesting day of
So he's probably
two. We've
lifesteal
had
in
a
some
very
capacity
close
then,
free
right?
mapper, and then we had one of the fastest, most
Surely.
dominant performances in
Here
the
is
Ignite
what's
stage so far.
Yeah, and we're still
19.
looking for the consistent
it?
thing of putting the top 8 teams of EMEA
Passive
groups
is
together. So
Bloodline.
this one, I think, is probably
Uh,
the most
Similar
biggest
to
question
Punisher,
mark
it
I
allows
would
him to
say so
enemies
far
to
out of
walls.
all the
However, there
games
is
today.
still
I
no
do think that
confirmation
seeing Peps and Alcancia
of
later
how
is going
it
to be
how it's
probably
tricked.
a very interesting, very even best of
Stomp
four.
and
it's just-
Slash.
There's a lot of
And that's
questions
his
about
passive.
X
Like,
Factor
we don't know.
because
Like,
we haven't really
I mean, this
seen
is all
much
like
of
some
these two teams prior
the
to
leak.
this tournament starting.
Yeah.
Then
GC
he has Stomp
coming in
and
with
Slash.
the
Based on the leaks,
finish
Stomp
from
and
this
Slash
event with
will be
Divisional
Blade's
Team
main
roster.
attacking
Decided
skill,
put
allowing
their
him to deal
academies
high
together, and
burst damage
whilst it was
with
a
his
rough start
katana.
against Humongous, missing out on
Okay.
barriers
That's what I've been
and
wanting, bro.
quite
Like, literally.
dominantly, the 0%
Then the
result
Dark
should give
Knight
a
attack.
little bit more confidence
What's
into
the
this
use
team
of a
of what
burst
we
melee
can
if you can't get up close to your
Together, very
enemies?
good
This is
reasons
where
for
the
banning
Dark
Lester
Knight attack comes in
against them.
handy,
It's
according to leaks.
KG
This
will
ability
raise Hawkeye with
is a
Spark,
dash
who's
strike that allows
insane
Blade to
in
either
that
close the
game.
gap or
It's
retreat
a
when needed.
Abu who to
However,
the
it's
Wolverine is
unclear
to
whether the
Lester
skill
with
deals damage to
Jack
enemies or simply serves as a
Force.
movement tool. So he's a melee character.
GC to whiff that out,
Yeah.
was able
Well,
to
is that like Magic Portal?
It's kind of like Psylocke,
into having to use
more
level
Yeah.
realistically.
to be able to block all of the Goddess of Death ultimates. I don't
Fang
think
Deflect
So-
is rumored to be Blade's defensive skill, allowing him to deflect incoming ranged attacks. In the
Oh
comics,
my God,
Blade
this is
possessed
fucking
superhuman
cringy.
senses and speed, so it makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, it would probably be like Hawkeye's melee or whatever, and block projectiles.
It's
I said,
Deflecting things back at people would be insane, though.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely a character I'm going to be playing.
Yeah.
Like, this is
It's
like
fun.
this is literally the character I've been waiting for. Bang Deflect is rumored to be Blade's defense. Wait, did I say this? Yeah, I did. Ultimate ability, New Moon. Blade's ultimate, New Moon, is rumored to be transform him into his full vampire form. Yeah, he's a vampire, but he hunts vampires. It's kind of weird. Really enhances all his stats and grants access to an entirely new set of abilities. That's cool.
Oh.
That'd be cool. So you like you press ability and it swaps. Bro, what? Bro, why are these? What is this? Best team compositions for Blade. Mantis Rocket. Bro, what the hell is it like? Bro. Blade will thrive in teams with long-range strategists who can buff his damage. Doctor Strange, from a lore perspective, Blade might have a team-up ability with Doctor Strange. Additionally, Blade would pair well with vanguards like Thing or Thor, who can draw enemy attention. Bro, who is making these things,
Thor's
bro?
back, baby. Thor's back. Thor's back.
Bro, this is like the worst thing I've ever seen. I mean, he's definitely like a melee, 100%. With some pretty cool tech. Like I said, I'm going to be playing this character. I don't care if other people play him. Like, I'm in Psylocke. Can't fight me. I will literally beat you.
I remember you said that for Ultron as well.
I mean, but my Ultron's actually good. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But Blade though is like literally, since the game's release, I've been like, talking about. This is the character. At first, I thought it was gonna be like a shotgun, like on him, because that was like was in comics. Like, this is the one character I've actually read comics of.
Oh, okay.
And the comics is pretty fucking gnarly, though. It's actually like are the more grotesque of Marvel comics. Fucking bad. Like, I definitely shouldn't have been reading it at my age. Let's just say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what can I say? You're a violent psychopath now after reading Blade when you were 10 years old.
I was like 8. I was like young. Elementary school.
Jesus.
My parents just got it from me. I was like, I want this.
Wait, your parents got it for you?
I mean, they didn't know anything about it, so I was like, can I have this? And like, here you go.
Oh my god, Mom, Blade is so cool.
Potentially a vanguard of their own. They might want to have the mirror ammo pick, and indeed, there it is.
I mean,
Get to go into the triple bans.
I melee character.
Which role do they try and
If
target
the
This place
leaks,
not just gonna is just like look for high damage burst on support, get out.
yeah, if the leaks are true, probably. I mean, it again. It seems pretty cool.
I think for both sides, it was straightforward.
Oh, I don't want to get insta-killed by another freaking dive character again, man.
I mean, the thing is, like, I have a theory.
Yeah.
Even though there's a whole bunch of like lore around him and how much he does, I feel like how he is, he probably comes out like
October. I thought he was just gonna come out in a new patch, no?
I thought he was gonna come in season 3, but the narrative is like Phoenix is coming.
Oh, what, Green Jean Grey?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense if they made Blade come out in October.
What, because, what, like, yeah.
Who knows? I think getting him out earlier.
Yeah. I feel like the kind of playstyle he encourages might attract more players if he comes out earlier.
Yeah, it's hard to know. I don't even know what like Phoenix would be. Or, yeah.
Well, she'd probably be a DPS, right?
All I know is like way long ago in like the leaks was like it's gonna have like different sets of abilities, like a human form and a Phoenix form. Like I knew like that was like it probably like made sense how they were gonna do it. Did it that way. Let's comp again.
Yay, Res Comp, yay, I love 20-minute team fights, yay.
I mean, that's the meta with the new pick ban system.
make sure that it leads into an elimination. Yet Tuesday was still doing a lot of damage alongside the Punisher. He's getting a lot out of it, and much like we put focus onto Crisis and L9 of putting resources into him, I do think that that's something that All Business do very well. These are players that haven't played that much in Marvel.
I feel like
I think
I have a feeling that
was the first major event. The previous one
anything
top 32, top
you will be in her
64
human
matches,
form,
but they have a lot of
kind of like Emma. Then you press shift to
playing against
Phoenix.
each other, playing
Yeah.
with each other, just knowing each other
Probably
because they're
how
on
you do
different
it.
platforms. Well,
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot more control players pop
Or
up.
maybe she has to
All
like
Business
do
has the
something
same
to like get
thing.
Phoenix.
Maybe it's her ultimate.
Stuff, and that synergy really shows in every game that they play.
I always thought it was Blade. Damn, it was just now that
I mean,
you said.
I'd rather
like,
have
it
Blade.
might be
but-
Phoenix. Yeah, me too. To be honest.
To mitigate all forms of Psylocke threat. It's going to be the Atom with the Cloak and Dagger.
And they're
with the Mantis. This is the full
Because they can do a lot of ways, right? Because he's like in the comics, he's a master martial artist. He's an expert swordsman and an expert marksman. So like, there's a lot of ways you could take him. He could be a sniper. He could be a melee. Be like a Iron Fist or something. No, pretty good though.
We shall see.
See.
Both sedated, just able to sort of back up. It was All Business that got onto the objective first as OGC holding onto the portal to just buy their time as the objective was
Rescom
open
versus
for a good 10 seconds. But now it's just chipping away.
Really Punisher Psylocke beats this, right?
Towards the Venom, just sort of fighting up, pushing this backline now as Tuesday's found that opening in the backline.
Play Rescom right.
OGC crumbling under the weight of All Business now that they've
My
found those
opinion.
picks. It's going to be them
Capcom.
taking the point first.
Yeah, OGC as well, losing this first fight and that TP fight as well is going to make it much harder for them
Yeah, it goes.
to get on top of where this Punisher is going to be playing from. Plus, two might not have been able to go for the Captain America.
Good morning,
for the
Gusky.
side of Wells Mania, but can still play that Venom to give Tuesday the confidence to really commit. It's going to be Venom who could first pull out those crucial cooldowns, and then your
What'd you say?
Psylocke, the thing that's actually going to be finding the pick, can follow up shortly after. In fact, we can see him already set up on the wall, waiting for that slam down. The tether comes out.
No,
Be
Chris.
able to keep everyone healed
Yeah, he's
up,
racist.
but it's the dance
As
of
I
the
join.
butterflies that you have to worry about.
Yeah, he
Will
hates you.
picks up of the back of it, though.
You can tell in his
Good
gameplay.
leap into Solar Resurgence from 6 forces All Business into having to overcommit. They could have won that fight potentially with 2 ultimates, but instead they have to burn the entire ultimate bank, and they've got 1 left.
Resurrections bringing back some of the players, but it might just end up slowing.
The thing
down
is with
this
Rescamp, like,
for OGC. Like you
you actually have to have, like,
big
practice on
ultimates
it to be-
all used at the same time for All Business, from the vanguards, the duelists, and the strategists all together. So OGC having a lot, but 6 going down there just means that more time is going to be bought. Yeah, he's checking his watch. I'm not surprised because OGC just letting what 10, 15, 20% go for free.
Yeah, Toot's gonna have Feast of the Abyss, but where's your damage boost? You don't have a Mantis, you don't have a Luna. OGC are going to be able to survive all the way through with that Eternal Bond coming on through. The Business don't even have any other ultimate to overlap over the Feast of the Abyss. However, what they do have is pressure. Slowpoke is already off of the Punisher turret. Greedy sends in the Eternal Bond. It's going to be mirrored back with closest in this boundary. Hachiko comes through with an
gets
eye
four.
matches onto 4 of them, and it doesn't matter that All Business didn't have the ultimates because they're just falling apart.
It was the invisible boundary set up from closer to hold All Business to accounts, but OGC, the most impressive fact is it was just the Eye of Agamotto that seemed to follow through, and the Eternal Bond for Greedy Nils, almost not even worth mentioning because of how quickly these ultimates can be farmed up. You've got the Karmic Revival for that extra little bit of security, Psionic Survival and the Dance of the Butterflies to be proactive, and it has to be that from OGC. 99% on the board for All Business.
At least Greedy doesn't have that Eternal Bond yet again.
They're
Down to the
pretty
butterflies
good.
from KQ. Psionic
OG should win this,
comes
though.
out at the same time too from OGC, trying to punish the fact that they had to stack those players into that Psylocke ultimate to stop it having value. And unfortunately, that's done just the ticket. All Business lose so many of their players, and OGC win another
Yeah,
fight
they
in a
made-
row.
That's 2-2 using the ultimate,
They
switching over to
dropped the
Dr.
Star-Lord for
Strange now.
Psylocke.
Needed to be a contest with the portal just yet. 44% on it for OGC, so it's a good fight. Using up some of those bigger ultimates and not really close to having any others come online other than the Karmic Revival.
All Business, they've got the Eternal Bond. They've got the Final Judgment. We've
I'm
seen teams have to invest both to guarantee guarantee that the Punisher survives the duration of the ultimate. Still, though, All Business not opening things up just yet. It's going to be a Psylocke versus
Ooh.
One Psylocke's got the Anna team up, and KQ is able to come out on top.
Yeah.
Out comes the final judgment, emboldened by the Eternal Bond, but OGC are
Again.
more than happy to trade 2 ultimates for the price
Nice.
of 1. Karmic
Get on.
behind the point, and they've been able to bring all of those players back.
Good.
Now it's overtime. It's not even going to be progressing forward for OGC. They have to take it back, which is looking likely at this rate.
I don't know.
You
It's
got
like
KQ with a
a
dance
little
to the butterflies,
Psylocke.
not wanting to use it in this engagement. Really, nothing's been
I
made
guess it's
towards
fine
it.
on
All
Dom.
Business almost taking
What?
his first point and making it theirs. KQ trying to keep the resets happening on the other side this time.
Wait.
All Business wanted to try and peel through.
Wait.
Slobo is the ultimate that seemed to make the most difference. He's not going to have it for this next and potential final fight. The portal from 2 to 2 coming in. Hachiko does have the Eye of Agamotto, hiding it feels like to try and catch them out.
We
Yeah, they don't know where the strange is. They've got to
go for a reset, or did Mantis jump off? What the hell? Marks in chat. Wait. Bro did not shield?
Tuesday's able to find Lapis. Where's the follow-up damage off of the eye? It's not there in time. All Business
Die.
coming through with an Eye of Agamotto of their own. 6 with the
Emma ult.
reception, trying to keep everybody up through it. KQ, intangible, but still coming on out with the tangible damages off of the back of that Dance of the Butterflies. All Business trying to have the later support ultimate coming on through, so that they can have the long-term
pretty good.
sustainability, and that's been able to win them the fight. Eternal Bond paired up with Tuzi's ultimate, and OG Seed are going to have to rush Karidi onto the Strange and try and set up a teleport just to be able to touch.
Well, there's going to be able to, though. It's back and forth, this fight is, but 2 to 2 finds the pick straight away over onto the Adam Warlock. Greedy nails a shield, dropped pretty much instantly. Hachiko on the Captain America, cut down yet again from this Venom, who has been able to get these eliminations, chop things up nicely, but it's Tuzi that's the one that's absolutely shredding through the first seed.
Oh, good round.
And the first point for OG, All Business, had it to begin with, lost it, brought it to 99%, and was able to take it back, which meant...
I see in the future of map number 2, a Psylocke target.
We caught up now.
Even after that Lena's nose been taken off. Because Tuzi on the Psylocke 20 and 3 right now. The numbers that Tuzi is outputting, it's just insane. OG Seed is even on a composition that is tailor-made to survive the Psylocke hit dive coming on through, but he's still finding the value when his team needs him to.
I mean, this shouldn't have enough healing if we just rush
Yeah, today's given a couple of fireworks. I love all of these shots. I love the Krakoa and Arako just have so many like little cute little tidbits, especially. But for
Be good.
OG Seed, considering this is pretty much the garden of all gardens that you're playing in, things growing in some places, dying in others. Really, it's the only way to sort of put it. For All Business, they've set themselves up nicely, and Slowpo having the final judgment. It's a scary, precarious thing that OGC need to be very careful of.
Yeah, Watchmania is going to be able to power it up here with a lovely psionic seduction. KQ for 3 is going to go all the way around the back, trying to scatter these positions where All Business are going to be setting on up. They need to know where the Punisher is so they can disengage cleanly. Veil of Light Force comes on through from All Business, so they can just keep that forward position. Out comes the Dance of the Butterflies from Tuzi. They sorted OGC through a little bit too reluctant to face the Punisher.
Oh my god.
All get trapped into the open space against the Dance of the Butterflies. No final judgment, but that definitely has an air of finality as Tuzi's ultimate closes out the fight.
Yeah, I felt that the final judgment was almost security. Use the psionic seduction, dance the butterfly together, force out some big support ultimates or big cooldowns like the soul bond. That's when the final judgment can come through, but it wasn't needed. All Business, the big ultimates are online, they're set up nicely and they're cycling them to perfection. OG Seed, not really much progression made on the point for All Business at this point, but they want to make these ultimates work.
Good, looks good.
They have enough to work with, all 6 ultimates.
KQ for 3 hasn't got the LOS for the Mantis damage boost. Soul Resurgence comes out instead. Eye of Agamotto from 2 catches 3 of them. The Mantis heal just isn't enough. Slowpoke with the final judgment is entirely untouchable, safe inside the invis boundary. And OG Seed, their presence is entirely invisible on this point right now. They haven't been able to find a single in, and unfortunately for them too, it's going to come at the cost of another late stagger pick. The body block, they take the Atom down before Lapis can find the map edge. And All Business are about to hit final fight territory.
Yeah, I got my ult.
Listen, if
Well, Tuesday's not gone down. He's gone from 23 to 3 to 29 and 3. 17 final hits, but Slowpoke, that duelist combination is horrendously terrifying for anybody to be dealing with, and really they're able to shine because of the support and the resources poured into them. Now you've got this sort of high ground play. We saw Canute play a bunch of these sort of positions before over on the side of Zero Tenacity, and Slowpoke's just for free.
Nice.
For free, they
Good eye.
put this damage here, and the Eye of Agamotto
Very good eye.
catching on to the 4K that he's usually consistently able to grab. It's only the one. Unfortunately, it's not really amounted to all too much. KQ trying to make sure that the turret from the Punisher from Slowpoke isn't going to really catch that much free terrain. And the fight is finally going away of OGC, but much like the first point, Moxie, it's a 99% for all business. They're not even able to get it.
Yeah, Tuesday's still up. It's a Psylocke 1v1. Tuesday's gonna fall. It was a 2
The duo.
6 of us there to help out with the inspiration. But all business, 99%. They've got final judgment. They're going to have Invis Boundary, and they're just gonna go straight for a teleport play before OGC can build up the ultimates to stop them. Strange teleports right above the air. Slowpoke gets the absolute wonderful angle with this Punisher turret to just catch onto all of these players from OGC. Does they have no choice but to throw themselves onto point, or it flips over.
Another great eye.
And the 4K and their follow-up is exactly there from the Maelstrom, from the final judgment. Psionic Seduction going to be used on the other side.
There's not a lot you can do in that situation. Like Emma ults.
Those guns are still going burr over on the side from Slowpoke. And all business cleaning up this first map in a nice straightforward 2-0 fashion. OGC not able to get anything on the board on the carousel.
All business are one of the best teams at identifying the win conditions, especially when their win condition is the duelist. They will go above and beyond.
I'm gonna end this stream there because I need to do some.
As necessary.
I appreciate
Such a good
watching.
understanding of the situations when those
Good job,
resources are
guys. Later. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow.